says I'm live. Let's see if this actually works. That link it's giving me is just not working. Stream URL. Maybe that's not what I'm trying to do. Or maybe they just need to go to my channel. Oh.
Yeah, maybe Twitch, man.
Well, I'm saying maybe maybe they just need to actually go to my YouTube channel and it'll show up there.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah, okay. There we go. Oh, that's the feedback loop. There we go. Whoops. That's it. Sorry.
Yeah, that works for me, Chris. I just clicked on that.
Yeah, that was I was using the stream link that was made for like the video software, not this one is directly on my channel, so.
So should we be watching it through YouTube or just inside of the app, the Discord app?
I mean, if for whatever reason YouTube looks better, you can. I think in the Discord app, because the YouTube is slightly has a slight delay to it, just cause I think.
Okay.
So Discord, if anyone chiming in on chatting is gonna be better through the Discord. Okay, so is this working? Someone tell me it's working. Is it JDL? Is it moving? The YouTube app? Do you see my face moving in the corner?
I clicked off the YouTube. I can
Oh, okay. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I can check.
Yeah, Chris, I see your face moving.
Yeah, it's working. Okay. Okay, cool. And okay, someone says okay, working. Cool.
Yeah, it does have a delay on YouTube, but it seems to be working.
All right. Great. So we can get started. That was not as hard once I figured out what the hell I was doing wrong. That works. Very good. Okay. So during this, I also want a couple hands. I'm going to open up just the solvers. Oh, good. Oh, that's perfect. I might want to check some hands like in a solve or open up in Flapzilla. Just for certain things, if something warrants more discussion. And I want to go through all the hands and just basically just try to what am I saying? Basically, the way I'm thinking about doing this is go through all the hands, and if I skip a hand, if you see me fold a hand that you think like, oh, how come we don't open here? You know, someone speak up, or basically, if I'm going through it and something seems like it should be different, or your thoughts should be different, or it's warranted discussion, someone just speak up and we'll talk about it.
That sounds good, man.
All right, so I think everything's working. I exit out of YouTube for some reason. There we go. There we go. And anyone on YouTube, the chat is working, and I have that up. I'm gonna switch some stuff around so I can see the chat easier. There we go. Good. It's recording on OBS. Cool. Close the window. Alright. So yeah, the reason I wanted to go over this particular hand history just because I think it's my biggest buy-in win. Biggest tournament with the biggest buy-in that I won, and it was a really fucking long tournament. So yeah. Oh, I want to get the calculator out because I am pretty terrible at knowing how many big blinds I have at any given time by just looking at numbers. I'm actually trying to... I actually have some math apps to help addition and multiplication. I'm pretty good at math, but just doing it quickly has been a problem for me live. So, anyway. Let's go through here. Just fold
Hilarious, man. I'm bad at math, but I can do simple math real quick.
Yeah, I used to be really good at math in school. And I get it a bunch, but I don't know, just like big blinds. Figuring out how many big blinds someone has just by figuring out live gets annoying for me.
Chris, your HUD doesn't have those capabilities?
It does. It's so the on playback the HUD is gonna work some and work not. Like to describe the HUD here, the only important one is the vertical bar at the top is V is the what is VPIP is the top. PFR is the second one. This is 3-bet percentage, and then this one is supposed to be big blinds. So the one on the bottom right is big blinds, and I think it's tracking my opponent's big blinds decently. I have no idea. Like over here it says this guy has 15 big blinds. Obviously he doesn't. It's always going to say that I have 1.1 big blinds for whatever reason. But the other stats are, I believe, are going to be accurate for the total hands I have on them. And the total hands is going to be to the left over here. That number next to big blinds. So I mean, in general, any stats that are significant to a hand, I'll talk about them because I know the HUD's just different than most other HUDs. And that's the one thing I like about DriveHUD, you can just make your own HUD. Though sometimes they don't format correctly with every site.
Okay, sounds good. And can you just tell me what the other numbers are there then?
These over here, it's hold on. I think something happened. Oh, something went wrong. Please contact. Okay. Oh, need to open up DriveHUD. One moment. If I did not like something that I did. I think it's because I increased the magnification of my center screen, so you guys can see the replayer better, and maybe it doesn't like that. I didn't have problems before. I don't anticipate it's gonna be a problem. Probably just a bunch of stuff going on my computer. Alright. One moment. I got this back up already. There we go. Okay. So let's, like I said, over here I think this is like, I think I did this like steel percentage, fold to steel, fold to c-bet. This is total hands. There we go. Big blinds, 3-bet percentage, PFR, and their VBIP. And like I say, yeah, anything that's significant, I'm gonna mention. So we start the things very deep. What is it? 15,000 chips. So we're starting with 750 big blinds deep. Let's see. Open, call. So 3 ways just get let into. It's weird. I guess I raise here. Being deep stack. What do you guys think about this actually? Just 3 ways get let into on this flop, and we raise.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I'm actually a huge fan of raising donk leads with almost anything because you get folds so often and it's usually so weak.
Yeah, me too. Especially on global, I do it continuously.
Yeah, I mean, occasionally I've had people lead on boards like this with a set, but it's so rare. It's usually
they're a little stickier on ignition sometimes, but I like to raise a lot of these donk leads myself.
Especially with 2 overs and a gutter. So
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, I agree. I know one thing that I feel like I keep noticing is that in the player pool, I feel like multi-way donk leads tend to be much more nutted than heads-up donk leads. But also not always the case here. Let's see what happens. So he calls, we get a pretty good turn to barrel, we barrel, they call, we make a pair. So whenever this happens, I'm just almost always checking back, especially since he can just have a lot of nut hands at this point.
Yeah.
And we win. So that's good. Bad hand. Bad hand. Fold. I'm gonna skip the real obvious ones. So if really, one thing I've done in my game recently is really just start cutting out some of these really bad pairs from my game in like early and sometimes middle position. Deep stack, I guess I probably can just open this since we're dumb deep.
Cough, bird.
What was that?
Nothing, continue.
Okay. Wait, who is that?
That was focused.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is a mistake. Maybe I should just be opening to always try to hit a set. I think because this was a bigger tournament, I didn't want to just open and get set over set for tons and tons of big blinds. This guy was.
I've personally been a fan of getting rid of small pairs.
Yeah, especially
For a while now, because they just get you in a lot of trouble playing out of position.
they really do. And so I'm going to show. I have these implementable GTO charts from PokerCoaching.com, and I think it's really interesting that over here, this is a 40 big blind chart. I mean, these small pairs are just like almost never played. Like they don't even want you to play pocket twos on a consistent basis until you're on the button, and everywhere else is just folding. This is a 40 big blind, like a implementable GTO chart, and then with 25 bigs, it's like the same thing. I think this has helped my game a lot. Just totally folding out these little pairs from early and middle position, and on the button. Selling too, just folding out, not even bothering twos and threes, and also just open folding ace deuce and ace three offsuit on the button, 25 big blinds deep. Just they play so badly post flop.
What about if you're like 60, 70, 100 big blinds deep, are you still folding the small pairs UTG?
I don't think you're supposed to. I'll actually pull up what at least those 100 big blind charts from the site. I can do that real quick.
There's a lot of mixed reviews in my
There really is, yeah.
Small pairs between like anywhere from like 40 to 100 bigs.
Shit, I have Ryan LaPlante's charts, and he's only opening deuces, threes, and fours like maybe a third of the time, even 100 big blinds deep.
Yeah, check this out. So these are 100 big blind charts, and yeah, just open folding fives and worse from under the gun, and then.
Yeah, I don't quite understand it from a strategy point of view, because it's not really hard to play deuces, threes, fours, and fives post flop. You either flop a set, or you can get away from it pretty cheap.
I think what ends up happening is that you end up just
set too often.
Yeah, I think it's what ends up happening. You just end up losing more often. Like you just end up check folding a lot more, and especially you end up having to fold to three bets a lot more when you consistently open them from early position. And probably the times you hit a set, then you're trying to play a set out of position, and you're just not getting the odds. So
you're not even getting paid that often if you do flop a set.
People just get to play so perfectly against you when you're playing small pairs out of position.
What do you think? Cutting out like deuces through fives, UTG?
Well, that's what. So these right here, these are 100 big blind charts, and yeah, this one's saying just under the gun 9-handed, just fold fives and worse, and only open fives till you under the gun +2. Low jack, fold threes and twos, and then hijack, open the small ones. I mean, this is probably, like I said, probably more of a result of having a better 3-bet defense frequency, and also just maybe just cutting out. Every time you open them, just losing 2 to 3 big blinds. So I understand the notion of open folding. So I guess I probably don't hate. But that being said, when you're 700 big blinds deep, I don't know, maybe it's more correct to fold the small pairs, just because you're more likely to get set over set. Because this deep, everyone's going to play any pair, like no matter what. Look, I went with a set.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting topic. I've seen a lot of good players go back and forth.
Yeah, it probably depends on the table too.
I think like maybe 2 years ago, fucking Grip said Evan Jarvis was like the first one to bring it up about folding them, and he got like attacked by the poker community. And I kind of saw his view, and I kind of latched onto that a couple years ago, and everyone thought it was blasphemous.
Yeah. Well, maybe at the lower buy-ins, it's not terrible.
Right, it's not.
Yeah, lower buy-ins is people
stack off to you so light that maybe it's more advantageous, like with the $20 and down buy-ins.
Right, and you're just never. It's never incorrect to stack off 20 big blinds, 25 big blinds with a set there. You know what I mean? When you're 100 big blinds deep in a $162 tournament, it's a little different. You're going to have to find folds when flushes come in, straights come in. People rep bigger sets.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets really difficult, in my opinion, because I don't know how to fold a set.
Yeah, so maybe
Probably
maybe playing this deep, 700 big blinds deep, it is right to just definitely right to just fold the tiny pairs, just because set over set's gonna happen more often than not. All right, fold ace-6 offsuit, early position. Just
So what's your name? Is that like a call sign or something? Are you like military?
no. So it's funny. It's actually a family nickname, Alpha. It's basically when my little sister was little, she couldn't pronounce Christopher, and I guess either consistently or just a few times she would say Alpha, and my cousins heard her, just started calling me Alpha, and then it was kind of like a joking, like making fun of nickname for me for a while, and eventually it just became like my nickname in the family, and it became weird for certain family members to not call me Alpha, and now most of my family and a lot of my friends call me Alpha these days, and I've just used it for every like online handle. I'm just gonna skip that. Nothing too king 10 off. Probably not
Chris,
gonna play that. Yeah.
Chris, is this going to be available on YouTube for read?
Yeah. So this should be on. I'm also recording it on my own just in case YouTube doesn't pick it up. But yeah, it's streaming on YouTube and it should be. Yeah, it should be there.
Okay, great. Thanks. I know people were asking that.
So anyway, button open, king 10 off. I guess for min raise I should probably just call, but again, just being so deep and I don't know, I would rather 3-bet it. It's probably go either way.
I think 3-betting or folding is probably much better than flatting.
Yeah.
Agreed.
King 9 off.
Small blind, to be honest.
I can't believe people are min raising 700 big blinds deep. Or not, well, we're probably like 300 big blinds deep now, but still. I'm just gonna fold. Yeah, I mean, to the min raise on the button, king 9 offsuit here, this deep stack, probably just fold, right? Reverse
I'm not
titles.
calling. I'm never calling.
Yeah. Just,
King 10 suited, probably.
yeah, a lot of the suited
Yeah,
broadways.
definitely.
King 9 suited, you can call. I mean, it's suited even, but yeah, King 9 off is just.
Yeah, no, I'm just garbage.
Alright, so what the fuck happened here? Okay, so min raise under the gun, we call with 8s, 3-bets, call. I'm just calling because we're very deep still.
Standard.
And this guy bets like 40% pot, a call, I'm probably just giving up. Just if the guy in the middle folds, I guess call.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
If
can
no
call
guy
it
can call for sure.
if he folds.
And we would have won. Oh well. What the 5-6? Hold on. Yeah. See, this is the thing that's hilarious about, especially if I just have cards up. This guy just serves up with 5-6 off under the gun, and
Chris, how foolish of you to discount 5-6 from his range.
apparently it's pretty crazy. There are some hands on here that are pretty wild when you look at what they have. I do have all the hole cards too. I just don't know if there's going to be any great way to, like, if we want to see what someone had, to take a look and like go back where we left off.
It's atrocious.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Tournament poker is the softest form of poker by far.
Oh, yeah.
By far.
Just folding queen 3 off to the min raise. No reason to play it. King 10 off again. The small blind. We would have flopped the nuts. That's cool. Fold. Why did I? Oh yeah. Okay. So I fold this because we're deep. Just.
I don't think it's terrible open. I don't think it's a terrible fold either. This deep.
Divided by.
It kind of depends on the guys to your left.
Yeah. So we're 200. I'm 250 big blinds deep here. Is that right? Yeah. 250 big blinds deep. At least from like the charts that I know, like if we look at these 100 big blind charts again, I don't think the offsuit 10s they don't start getting open till the cutoff, and I know that's something that I've been trying to make sure I do. Basically, just almost religiously folding these Jack 10 off, Queen 10 off, King 10 off from every position except the cutoff when like over 50 big blinds deep, unless the table's just like dumb soft, but. I have liked that adjustment in my game. Just getting rid of these hands from my hijack and earlier.
I like it.
Okay.
Especially at a larger buy-in. It's not going to get soft.
Yeah, and from what I remember, there was this first table. I was at this first table for a while, and there was at least whenever I was in a hand, it seemed like there was a lot of 3-betting going on. I think the stats of the table weren't very high 3-bet. I think okay, under the gun +1. I think I thought about opening 6-8 offsuit, 6-8 suited, and then I was like, again, probably too deep.
I think 7-8's probably okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
About 6.
I agree, and again, looking at this 100 big blind chart, yeah, I mean, just the suited connectors. I figured suited
Depending on
gapper.
the table again, I think,
Yeah,
and I think it's fine at this table where there's a lot of 3-betting going on.
yeah. So that's a good hand. We open. That's sweet. We got folds. All right.
That's right.
Okay, so ace queen offsuit in the big blind looks like it's limped around. We're gonna make it 400. We gotta call. Okay, cool. Yeah, so everyone calls. That's great. And just gonna check fold because.
I like the sizing pre-flop. Seems good.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, I could look back to see what they all called me with. I'm sure it was mostly garbage because everyone was just super deep. Okay, so here we get a min raise from under the gun, and I 3-bet tens. I think most of the time I'm flatting a lot.
Yeah, I would this deep.
Yeah, I think this guy's stats must have been pretty wild, even after such a short amount of hands. Also, maybe because I may have 3-betted too because I think this particular player had a very high DPIP, and I really wanted to I wanted to get a heads up basically. I think that's why I 3-bet here in this position this deep. And they both see exactly, and this guy cold calls, so that's
the thing. Like with no read or nothing, I think it's a fine flat. But then you take into account the big blind and then what the under the gun player is doing, and it probably becomes more profitable.
Yeah, it's close. So 3-bet, go 3 ways, check. There, this guy leads out. I'm just folding. Just be. I mean,
that's annoying. Like it seems like it's bad to fold, but exploitatively, like what's he really leading with? A 7 or a 6? Come on.
Yeah, especially again this deep stack. I almost always expect. I almost always expect him to double barrel. Or,
he blocks some of the bluffs too. If he has it's hard for him to have 9-10 of hearts, or he could be doing this with that you're ahead of.
Actually, I might be able to just. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I float in these spots way too often.
Well, this is hilarious.
I don't hate calling one street, but then you're like in no man's land on the turn. Like, say it comes at 3 and it barrels again, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
This is just player dependent. If this guy's a spaz and he donk leads like this, anything other than top pair, you can obviously, go for the call, but it...
All right, what do you guys... I pulled up the whole cards. What do you guys think this guy's donking with?
Well...
And what do you think this guy cold called with, which is hilarious?
These stakes, I don't know. It's hard to say if you don't have any reads on the player.
I think like 8, 9s.
Yeah, so
I'm just
gonna say this. This is a $162 buy-in online, and poker is very alive.
Yeah. Oh, Queen Jack, Jesus.
So he
Christ.
opened Queen Jack offsuit under the gun, called 3-bet. This guy cold calls Jack 3 suited, and he leads here.
Oh.
I mean,
Yes.
maybe it's a good lead because I folded, but
I mean, people still play garbage on the high side.
Unless I know the guy's a complete nit, I'm probably floating, or not floating, but calling the flop.
yeah, this might be a result of, I don't know, maybe a result of me playing a bigger buy-in event, or also just a result that it's a fucking 3-bet pot, you know? Like, if I opened and then he let into me, I'm at least calling one street.
It's also very early, and based on the play, you have a significant skill edge in this tournament.
Yeah, so I guess this was just me being cautious and just figuring, again, what the fuck's he leading here, but nutted hands and a king because he's terrible. Though apparently he's terrible because he's just leading his backdoor straight draw and undercards.
Go straight draw and 2 overs to middle pair.
I don't even know. Oh wow, I would have hit a set. That's sick. I remember that. So I remember that fold, and I was like, oh yeah, because I remember that spot and thinking I'm probably just drawing to a set here where 3 ways, and then it hits. I'm like, well, fuck, whatever.
I'm just taking a basic approach of just from like a population tendency, people who donk lead there just seem to be so weak. Like, yeah, you're gonna run into the random jackass who just has a king and likes to bet there to find out where he's at.
But that's rare. That's rare.
But yeah, I think a lot of the times it's middle pair with a gutter, it's bottom pair, it's, and then you see the monkey business like that, the fucking queen jack, which is just.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you know what I was saying before. Recently, I thought that I felt like multi-weight leads were generally nutted, and maybe I just need to rethink that evaluation, considering some of the things I see in this tournament. But
yeah, I really hammered the donk leads. I almost raise it with 100% of my range.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So keep that in mind.
I don't know if that's 100% correct, but just from my experience, people just usually do it and fold. It's usually such a probing bet. They're just trying to see if their weak hand is at all good. And then if you show them a sign that it's not, they usually tend to fold. That being said, you're at a much higher buy-in than what I'm usually talking about. So, but then that argument's saying, oh, we're at a higher buy-in, he's a better player. Well, why would a better player lead a king? You know?
That's true. Yeah, it's.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Where's he actually repping at? You know?
Well, it's like, well, it's hard because you're deciding, is he a bad player that leads middle pair, or is he a bad player that leads top pair there? Because there's both, you know? It's really, I think just in a vacuum, you probably just have to call the flop bet and then take it from there.
Yeah, what size? I just want to see what sizing he used here. And,
Who is that talking, saying about raising 100% there?
That's the crypto killer.
Oh, Crypto, what up? It's Jim Otis. All right, cool.
How you doing, man?
Good.
So this guy, he bet big. He bets like 60% pot here. I guess that was weird. Like if he, yeah, I mean I should probably just be calling, especially hearing your guys' experience with donk leads just being more weak than not. Maybe I just had a recent bad run of donk leads being nutted to me to just fold here. All right.
Yeah, just in my experience, literally I raise them and they fold like 80 to 85% of the time, or they call flop and give up on turn.
Also, let's remember this guy right here is now calling this bet out of position with Jack. What did he have? Jack 7 suited or Jack 3?
3 of clubs, I think.
Yeah, but Jack 3. This guy is calling here with Jack 3 of clubs. So he has complete air with 1 backdoor straight draw.
Oh, it's exploitative. He knows you're going to fold the 10, and he knows the other guy has nothing, so, you know.
It's, yeah, well, he folds the turn, which is, yeah, well, you know what, yeah, I don't even.
This all goes back to my theory of any sports betting site that's predominantly like a sports betting site is always going to have the softest poker players.
Yeah, I think probably a general exploit we should be doing then is probably just betting much more for value, deep stacked. You know, like just assume that there are people that are floating with absolute garbage because they have tons of monopoly money in front of them.
Yeah.
What about
On ignition, I use way bigger bets. I do on global. Like, I mean, I really, when I have value hands, I really size up my bets. Yeah. Because I mean, just do not.
See, I actually do that on global because I feel like people on global are just literally clicking.
Yeah. You're just usually way deeper on ignition, especially.
Yeah, for sure. That's true.
Yeah.
With the flop, and you're all in on the turn.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's move on. Pocket 6s, open to 3x. We get 2 callers, and this guy leads out again. And I mean, this is an even worse flop for 6s. This guy calls.
Yeah. I don't think you ever call there. I can imagine why.
These guys, what the fuck is? I mean, these guys are. I mean, this time he did lead out top pair. I think I saw this next hand and felt a lot better about my fold on the previous hand. And then I probably saw this. Yeah.
Business right here. It's like trying to get any kind of ranging on these guys. You kind of have to default to some strategy.
Yeah.
Because they're literally they're just literally clicking buttons.
They really are. It's pretty crazy. Alright. So here.
Love it.
Yeah, I thought I love it. I feel like every time I try this, it doesn't work out. This fucking guy keeps calling everything. The guy 2 to my left. But anyway, I get annoyed about
that might make a case for just swatting if this jackass keeps calling everything on the button.
Maybe, yeah, that's awkward. But yeah, anyway, I guess an early position open, 200 big blinds deep. I did feel like I should probably throw this into my 3-betting range.
It's up to what, 17?
What was that?
And the big blind 4-bet to 17?
Oh yeah, and then the big blind 4-bets to 17, and at this point, what I need 2-1.
Pretty good odds. A little bit over 2-1 or about 2-1.
Yeah, and we're just so deep. I mean, we're gonna have a pretty big SVR post flop, so I figured I will just call here, I guess, and try to hit netted. Especially because I figure this guy's gonna call. I know if I call, this guy is just always coming along, so I figure my pot odds are even better.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's an interesting flop. So he checks, and I bet here. What do you guys think about this? 3-bet pot.
Betting because calling is just not very good.
Right, so it checks to me.
But if you check and then button call,
Right,
button
that's right. Yeah, so I bet small here though. I bet 15 into 52, so like 25% pot, and we're pretty deep. I don't know.
Block a lot of the draws if you're going to try boards, so I don't really see a problem with it. I might go closer to. Actually, no, I like it, man.
I think it's good only if you're going to follow up on the turn and not give up at this point.
Yeah, no. The plan is if I get called, I'm definitely betting
With
again.
like at least 3/4 pot, if not an overbet.
Yeah, I would be barreling most turns that aren't diamonds.
Yeah.
Almost all. A shitload of turns that aren't diamonds.
No, even diamonds.
Yeah, I think even diamonds we might want to, because I expect to get called by pairs and maybe even some overcards, especially by this player here.
This is the Jack 3 guy, isn't it?
This is the Jack 3. No, yes, this is the Jack 3 guy on my left.
Yeah.
So I expect him to call a lot, and I'm planning to, definitely just keep betting on various turns.
Yeah, I think
like the only
he raises
I
me.
can't bet is like a 5.
And he min raises.
Yeah, and he raises me, and I mean, I don't think we can ever fold here, right? I mean, I don't think we can ever call. I mean, I don't think it just.
He's repping a 5, and why would a dry 5 raise so small on that board?
Because I don't know, people are terrible, but I don't know.
I tend to find terrible people here will raise really large with a 5 because they're just so scared of a diamond.
But here's the problem with calling here is that we are so deep, and there are not a lot of turn cards that improve my hand. And I don't really have a hand to bluff catch with. I feel like if I'm going to continue, I need to come over the top. Because at this point, there's almost 10,000 in pot, and he has 10,000 behind.
Yeah, it's like stuff or fold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems better. Calling is probably pretty, like you said, there's literally very few cards that improve you that you're going to be able to continue on.
And I'm blocking a lot of the bluffs. Like, I don't block diamond draws, but I block, obviously, 7/8s, 10/8s.
Yeah.
I don't block value.
You block 6/7, 6/8, some things he can be bluffing with. Yeah.
So.
I think a fold's fine.
Yeah, apparently being anonymous just really lets people play whatever the fuck they want.
3.
Ace 3 offsuits.
Holy shit.
See, I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm also a maniac and just fucking go for it sometimes. But
the problem...
Just fucking stuffing it down his throat when he raises there, repping absolutely nothing.
Although shitty players like to sometimes raise a 9 and then call it off.
Exactly. It's like we don't know what kind of bad player he is, and it's so bad. Like when we shove and get called, it is so bad. Like we are just dead.
He's also raised calling off his flush draws too. Even just 10 queens.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly, and we lose to those anyways. I mean, maybe if this was a cash game, maybe jamming is right. If we think he's going to fold everything and it's a cash game, maybe jamming over the top is right. In a tournament where, like you said, tournaments are really soft and you have a lot, when you're out of
that's
just dead.
Going back to the thinking of who min raises here with a 5 or any kind of decent hand that's on that heavy of a draw flop. Not that I would have gone with it in your spot or anything, but it just that's the problem, is trying to figure out what kind of bad player they are.
Yeah.
Just determining that someone's a fish and a bad player doesn't tell you shit,
For sure. So that was weird, and I this is the first time I saw that he had ace 3 here.
I think if this guy's playing like this, in this situation, you probably should just look to flat pre-flop.
Yeah, and I mean maybe playing this deep stack I should be flatting more. I don't know, but
At this point in real time, we don't know that he did that with Jack 3 earlier. We don't know any of it.
exactly. So we're like, I'm noticing that this guy is trying to play every hand, but I just don't know the extent of how crazy he is or how much he's getting after it.
Yeah, he's just a maniac.
Yeah. All right. So pocket eights in the low jack. We call and open, get 3-bet. Of course, that guy calls because why not? He has only 2 cards, and we come along and we flop a bad flush draw. We're just what is 8-10?
Easy.
Yeah, that's just, he wins with the 10.
Great.
This guy wins. Yeah, I mean, what the fuck?
So some of these guys enter tournaments with like an hour to spare, and they think they're just gonna win it.
I swear, there's this one guy later on that like. This is this hand. There's one guy later on that just he had no chips and it just looked like he was trying to win the tournament right away and just was trying to just go to sleep. This guy just bets out his middle pair. I mean, this is probably a pretty bad bet. He actually almost pots. No. He bets almost pot here. No, like 80% pot. This guy calls the top pair. Now the king. I mean, ace jack needs to fold, but I can't believe this guy's just barreling for half pot here. Like that's absolutely nutty. Anyway, what are we doing?
Yeah, who are those guys saying poker's getting harder?
I fucking don't know, dude.
Those guys, LOL.
There's this guy who was saying how like YouTube has ruined his skill edge in the game. I'm like, what? No, not at all.
No, what it's done is made a bunch of fish misapply a bunch of information.
Gaffa.
Yeah.
Is there any way to turn the bass down on your mic?
Oh yeah, hold on. I think I know what's going on.
I might clean it up a little bit.
Does that help, what I just did? Or no?
It sounds the same to me.
Alright, hold on.
It's not terrible, it's just a little,
Break out that blue mic, Chris.
whoever said that has a killer mic.
Me?
Huh.
iPhone 8.
Let's see, can I do something with this? Audio input, properties, filters. Filters, audio filters, let's add one. Gain, compressor, gain, noise gate, noise suppression, plugins, do you have plugins?
You can go ahead, man. It's not terrible. I was just wondering if,
Yeah, no, I'm gonna take 30 seconds, see if I can do something, because it would be interesting if I can do something about it. Second, rename, order, transform, hide mixer, scale, filter.
You gotta do this in the studio, bro.
I would be able to do it in the studio. Okay. It does not look like I have a bass option on there, unfortunately. Okay. Anyways.
to the fun.
I think we're just folding here, open 3-bets. I'm sure this guy has air. Small blind, I already know we're not going to play it. 5-6 off, not going to play it. Alright, so low jack open, 3-bet, ace queen. At this point we have a little over 100 big blinds. Of course everyone calls, because that's what you do in $162 tournaments online. And we just check, 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 check. This guy bets, I'm just folding.
It's crazy how soft those two guys are.
It is, it is really nuts.
They have to be sports guys, just...
There's at least one of those guys on every list.
You know what's fucking crazy? It's like, I didn't even make a bad fold. This guy had ace-king. And just, I mean, he had ace-king high. Just, I can't even hero with ace-queen high because this guy's betting ace-king for no reason here.
That dude's a fucking complete spaz.
I mean, it's and king-5, yeah,
Genius. What are you talking about?
this is crazy.
He's on some fossil shit or what?
he can see my cards. That's a problem.
Seriously. He's a genius. He's a god.
I mean, it's funny. Like, yeah. I mean, try to get called by worst ace highs.
Like, I'm gonna get this guy to stack off with ace queen.
Like, I will call there. I'm calling there with ace queen, and he gets value from it. Like,
I'm never calling there.
I'm fucking calling there.
No, we just don't beat
Get me
anything.
off my
Even
ace-high.
What is this, a min open? +1 or +2? No, +1.
yeah. So +1 opens. We flat king queen suited. Deep stacked. So something worth noting that that I took away from a webinar by Matt Affleck is just almost he doesn't like 3-betting king queen, and I used to. And the logic behind that is that when you 3-bet a hand like king queen, you know, you don't really get worse hand. You don't really get better hands to fold, and you get all the worse hands to fold instead. You know, so by like flatting here, you keep in their king 10, king jack, and you never fold out ace queen or ace king. I'm going with king queen offsuit and suited.
I'm not going to 3-bet there. I mean, if you're on button and cutoff opens, I think it's much better.
Okay, so we go multi-way, have a strong top pair. Alright, so what is weird?
Yeah, because for example, under the gun one has ace queen here. Obviously not folding to a 3-bet, and now we're just fucking lost.
Yeah. So there's 1,000 in the pot.
I like that.
Checks to me. I bet 600 into 1,000. Of course, that guy calls because he has 2 cards in front of him. And turn to 7. I assume I keep betting here. Yeah, so I bet 1,000 into 28. This guy calls because he still has 2 cards in front of him. And that's a bad river. I assume I check, and
I like check calls.
yeah.
I like how you played it. I might have even gone for like a tricky little check on the turn to get the button to spaz out, but so many draws, it's probably not the best idea.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't know how spazzy he is, because I don't think at this point I've seen a lot of his showdowns. I'm just seeing that he's playing every pot and winning some of them.
A lot, yeah.
And he could just have especially when he's playing every pot, he could just have a 7 here.
Yeah, that's true.
Open, we get min clicked by this guy. This is the first time he's done it. So, small blind calls, we flat, check, he bets.
I always leveled myself with the min clicks like that they accidentally did it, you know?
Yeah, that looked like probably an accidental one. Like that was a real min click. But he bets half pot, 600 to 12. We call. Check.
You ever raising there?
So, I can, but how deep is he?
It's a better board for his range after 3-betting you.
Yeah, so let's look at this. If he 3-bets me, it's like, what value do I have by raising? I mean, he should have all the better aces.
6s is about it, maybe 2 pair. I don't know. It looks a little fishy when you raise like you have a draw.
Yeah, I guess a guy like that, I'm not gonna.
I like.
Also, we're ahead of all the draws, too.
Draws because of showdown value and raising our king high draws here. I don't know.
No, I mean, I don't hate raising. I think it can go either way, especially against someone who's probably playing too many pots and c-betting. That being said, so there's 18 in the pot right now. If I raise to if I make it like 18, there's going to be like 3,000 in the pot, and I'm going to have like, 11 behind? If he jams on me? I don't want to get jammed on, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, plus, he, like you said, he hasn't really 3-bet you much, and this board just favors his range, so...
Yeah, and he's giving me a pretty good price. And again, sometimes king high just might be good.
And being his V-pip, we probably just get paid when the flush comes in anyway.
Yeah, so flush comes in, 24 in the middle, he bets 18. I'm just probably calling. I don't want to scare him off because raising just screams, hey, I have a flush over here. I wonder if I lead this just because...
I would lead it for 100%. I don't... the turn is debatable because it sucks if you get a card like this where he could be scared of something or another spade. And I don't think a player this really going to fold an ace on the turn if you raise. Especially an ace holding a spade.
Yeah, so... I guess my only thoughts on raising the turn is that what are my bluffs here? It's like I have all straights, 2 pairs, flush draws, and what bluffs do I have?
I think balancing against this guy is probably not too necessary. No. I just don't think he's going to fold 2 pairs. I don't think he's going to fold an ace with a spade. He's obviously never folding a set.
But he probably doesn't have. The only ace of a spade he has is ace queen, probably. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe ace jack, depending on what he's 3-betting.
I block a lot. The board and my hand just blocked the flush. Like Queen Jack suited, he probably just flats with. Yeah, I don't know. And on the river, again, if I lead, it's like I understand like maybe don't balance against terrible players, but at the same time, what you're saying, or someone was saying, we don't know what kind of terrible player he is. Is he terrible that he's going to call everything, or is he so terrible? Or I mean, just does he have enough brains to realize that I have no bluffs here? Or they're just folds.
Yeah, well, it's difficult because he blocked none of the two pairs. Like he blocked.
Yeah, that's true. I don't block any sets or two pairs. But I mean, even two pair doesn't love this run out. I mean, there's a one-liner.
True. Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if you get it in on the turn. I think he feels much safer playing two pair on the turn.
I like checking all the way.
It's not like I hate the call. I'm just I think against a bad player, I'm probably just raising turn.
Yeah, I mean, not against it.
I don't think
he
he's
has
making any hero folds on the turn, and anything, you're probably not getting called on the river anyway.
He bets into me. Maybe this is why I check, because this guy, maybe I just noticed this guy was betting everything. I guess if we think the guy's betting everything.
Like 100% of them.
Check river, okay.
He bets. I mean, this probably went into my decision. If I saw this guy betting almost all the time, and from some of the hands we saw already, this guy is betting like a lot. So I guess that's why I do it. And I raise and he folds because he's not the worst player in the world. Maybe.
Because he has Jack 3. Or not Jack 3 that time, but
the screen arrangement change for you guys?
No.
Screen arrangement?
Yeah, now I'm seeing like 4 separate windows and only one of them is the actual table. It just changed.
Let me check Discord.
Hey guys, don't you think a guy like this just has way too much air in his hand? Like, I just feel like if we raise, he's just never calling a raise on the thing.
I don't think so because he's not free betting very liberally, or at least from what we've seen. So I don't think it's too hard for him to have
But he's calling for that.
With there, yeah, no, he definitely can have some trash here. I just don't know what is he free betting like Jacks plus?
I think I made that this way. Guys like this, like, never free bet most of the time, even king.
Yeah, it's usually literally like queens plus.
Yeah, sometimes they don't.
But he just min click it, like just spazzy min click free flop. I mean, like he can have anything, like literally anything.
Yeah, it's hard to say without really seeing what he's 3-betting with. This is the first time he 3-bet you?
Yeah, this is the first time. Let's see.
And how deep are we into the tournament now?
Not that deep. So these are 15-minute levels, and we're only on the 100 big blind level.
Okay.
And this guy must have misclicked. He had King Jack suited and just blasted off. I mean, for no reason. And that's like, honestly,
he has a lot of those Broadway hands there.
That's what I noticed on Ignition too, in some of these hand histories. People really blast off for no fucking reason. Like, they just double barrel just cause, and I mean, I guess if he's gonna bet flop and turn, he should bet river, because it gets scary, but I mean, he just had stone air. And that's another reason why, yeah, against someone who's betting a lot, just don't fold out their bluffs. And this guy's crazy.
Can you help me figure this out? So I'm looking at 4 different windows.
Oh, right, you solved that problem. So go on the... Maybe just try leaving the call and coming back. Because maybe you're looking at one of my other windows for some reason.
I'm looking at 4 different windows. It literally just changed. I didn't even hit anything.
Oh, so you must, like, you see some blank windows, probably other people's windows.
I see 2 blank windows. Whoever one of you guys is at a poker table with a hat and sunglasses, and then the poker table we're reviewing.
You must have clicked a button somewhere. I'm just not sure what button. Try to... Oh, that's not right.
It's fine, man. I can make it work.
Alright, I mean, I would say just try to maybe just navigate outside the chat and come back, or even, I don't know, just click some buttons, or maybe just try to close it and come back in. You should still be in the chat and be able to join and leave when you want.
I'll close it and come back.
Alright. See if that works for him. Let's see. So that was...
He's gone for good. He ain't coming back.
That was weird. This guy right here is hilarious. Literally just playing every fucking hand. Like...
Okay, there we go.
Is it worth now?
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, we open under the gun, 9-8 suited, and we get 3-bet, and everyone decides to still call, so that's how this table was. So yeah, so we're playing. We have like 200 bigs, and most people have a good amount. Alright, so we flop the nuts. That's cool. Check. So 3 better bets 17 into 27. This guy calls because he has cards. Oh my god, this guy is hilarious. Anyways, there's almost 8,000 in the pot. We have 20k behind. I'm pretty sure I jam, and I don't really see any other good option but jam here. There's really no good raise size that isn't already committing.
What is the button doing calling off half his stack?
Well, he has cards, and no one gets to see his name, so he figures, I'll just keep calling. I'm just.
Man, I need to get on Iggy.
And he can rebuy too, so that's what he's thinking. He's like, well, I don't know. Anyway, this guy decides he folds because I guess he finally doesn't like his cards. Button calls off his stack, and we are up against a terrible player and someone who knows what they're doing. But we hold. Except, no, actually, no, this guy makes a straight, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But he had a tiny stack, so I think I chip up a little bit.
9k or so?
Yeah, so I started with 20k, so now I have 30k.
It sucks he hit the straight.
This guy called off with a gutter and an overcard, guys. This is a $162 tournament online.
That's what I'm saying. Tournament poker is just so insanely soft.
It really is, man.
I've played some 1100 buy-ins where people did shit like this. We had an HPT here in my city a few years back, and I saw some of the most atrocious play I could ever imagine.
It's every time I play live poker, I'm reminded, wow, I need to play more live because the play is just crazy.
Yeah.
Alright, so pocket twos, we don't hit a set. It's fun. I'm sure, okay. Small blind versus big blind, ace-7. This deep, I don't know, I think I tend to just limp everything, but I should probably work on a raising range this deep stack.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to give too much advice because I don't really love my small blind game. But yeah, I'm limping here every time. I might raise like suited broadways and some of the topper echelon hands.
So this is those 100 big blind charts. And here's the small blind suggested strategy. Just it's a polarized range. Just raising the best hands, raising some real garbage, and limping almost everything else, including some traps.
That's actually kind of exactly what I tend to do.
Yeah, and that's what I tend to do too. I think it's interesting looking at some of the short stack strategies for small blind versus big blind. Like, check out this 25 big blind strategy. It's just it's also polarized, but it's limping a lot and just raising all of this garbage in the pink, which I think is really interesting. Just to let you play more hands profitably from out of position. And then you're just raising the good cards there too.
Yeah, and the big blind's tendencies can change all this too. I'll sneak in some limps against really aggressive big blinds when I'm like 25 and under.
Yeah.
Because you can just put it back in the face so easily.
For sure. All right, so we limp.
Just right here, I think a limp is fine.
What was that? Someone?
I said I've kind of deviated from 100% limping in the small blind to mixing in some raises with my worst holders.
Yeah, and I think that's the way to think about it. So this guy's raises 5x. We have an ace, probably just good enough to call. Check. I'm probably still checking here. He bets. I'm gonna call. Check, and we win. So that's cool. Can we call a river bet?
I don't think so.
So yeah, check. Then he bets. And then the king.
Like I said, I'm a nit out of the small blind. I'm actually probably folding pre when he raises.
Yeah.
We're only getting called by worst 7s, 10s, kings.
Well, I'm not saying to bet
What do we
the
get
river.
value from?
Yeah, I'm not saying to bet river. I'm saying, can we ever check call a river?
He's talking about bluff catching.
Oh, got you.
I don't think generally, no.
Right. It's
not unless you have a read on the player.
I think so.
Think you can call?
Yeah. What did it go? Check, check.
Yeah, just check. I beat ace queen and ace queen. I mean, ace queen should be checking there. They have showdown value. They're gonna beat some of the draws.
Did he bet river? Or did
No,
he
he just checked. He checked river. I'm just gonna fold. Probably calling here.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so three ways. Check, check. I feel like I go either way with a bet or a check here.
Yeah, either way, I think.
Yeah, I don't mind either.
I have a 40% pot. That guy still has cards in front of him. He calls. He leads into me. So this is weird. All right, so there's 1800 in the middle. He leads for 13.5. Probably can't fold yet, right? I mean, just.
I'm always calling.
Yeah,
100. I was even thinking, shit, I had raising in my mind, but yeah, calling is probably just standard 100% of the time.
I don't think raising is accomplishing much.
Yeah, so now.
It's not.
Okay, so now we have.
Well, against this guy, shit.
I think I'm calling king high versus that guy at this point.
Well, that doesn't. I don't think I've seen almost any of this guy's showdowns in this tournament. I just know he's betting a lot. But anyway, so there's 45 in the middle. I have 28 back. He bets pot 45. I have a 280 back rather, if I'm saying it that way. And at this point, we have almost the worst ace we could possibly have.
Because all the other aces two paired pretty much.
Yeah, and.
I guess if you don't know what this guy's been doing up to this point, it's kind of gross. If you have any inclination of what he's doing, I don't think you can fold.
But you can see his HUD stats. I mean, I'm sure this guy's stats are just...
I don't know. I need to re-add like aggression factor in my HUD stats and learn how to use them more. I think I fold. What does he have? Deuce 6. Oh yeah, two pair. Well, all right. So. All right. Well, when people bet big, they have it. I don't know. We'll say I was good.
I mean, it's a good fold. I think if you knew what some of the monkey business he was doing, you probably have to call, I would say.
I guess, but like, what do we? I mean, we beat 7-8 of clubs, and we beat.
We beat some club draws. I mean, there's not a ton. I'm not saying it's a great spot.
Yeah,
but this guy's literally just complete king back.
I'm just well.
You look at the king jack of clubs hand.
Yeah. I mean, that's
No rhyme or reason to anything he's doing. He min 3-bet you with that hand and then played it so strange post. So I think if you have an inclination that this guy, but then again, have we really seen him put in a bet and not really have a decent showing river?
It's weird. All right, so the flop is. I just want to see like what does he reasonably call the flop and leave the turn with. I'm not even gonna do this because I just want to see how many flush draws are in his range versus anything else. You know, because he's
so weird that it's so strange that he just calls flop and then leaves turn.
Yeah, it's. I mean, well, to be fair. If he was in the big blind, I think it makes sense because the 4 is much better for the big blind's range. But the small blind, I don't know. This is weird. I guess my thinking is that even though we beat all the club draws, he still has a lot of ace-x, 5x, 4x hands.
Oh yeah, all the two pairs, he has everything.
Just everything gets there. I don't know, I feel like it's one of those spots where we just, if we get bluffed sometimes, it's kind of okay just because almost everything else in his range gets there.
I actually like that because I guess you're just really beating club draws at this point. Monkey and for some reason.
The club draws got there too, right? Like,
yeah.
Like they straighted, you know what I mean?
Any club draw that had a 5, like 5-7 or something like that. Yeah, you're actually the more you talk about it, I think your fold's probably just best. I mean, without knowing his hand now, you know, it's just, yeah, he's monkeying around, but is he betting rivers light?
So I just switched HUDs. Someone was asking to see this guy's VPIP. He is playing 58% of hands by the end of the tournament that I saw him. That's what it's saying. And he was only opening with he was just calling everything and opening with a very small range.
Yeah, I mean, I played the monster stack before we skilled a guy like this. Me and him both made the final table, and I had 300 hands to the guy. His VPIP was 58, PFR was 2 in the entire tournament. I mean, he just played every single hand, limps every hand, calls every hand.
Imagine the luck it takes to get to a final table playing like that.
See, bad players win too.
It's
Yeah, I think he won the tournament. I mean, he was.
All right, guys, we got to bust into this limp strategy, this limp call strategy that I have.
here we go. Let's use this one. Okay, I'm gonna leave this HUD on, just because it's a little easier to see and isn't messed up like the other one. I think it's still going to be reading big blinds incorrectly, but basically just look at the left side. The top is VPIP, then it's PFR. No, I'm sorry. It goes VPIP, PFR on the right, and then just 3-bet, fold to 3-bet, C-bet percentage, fold to C-bet. This guy never folds to a C-bet, and big blinds and hands. And again, I'll mention relevant HUD stats. This guy's crazy.
Yeah, kind of annoying spot, but
Yes. Yeah. So, luckily he just had it. Alright, so now we have like 200 big blinds. Most people are playing with 100 big blind stacks or around there. We open.
do you ever min open, or do you wait to the deeper stages when everyone's like 50 big blinds or less?
I kind of change it up on ignition. Just, I don't know. But usually a little more than min open if I can. I hate that every site doesn't do what Bet Online does, where you can just do set your 2.2 open, 2.75 open, things like that.
It's like Bet, man. Bet's so nice.
Yeah, I really like the site in general so far.
Yeah, their software is fast.
All right, so we hope everyone calls again, because yeah.
I'm sorry, you opened this pre-flop, right?
Yeah, and everyone decided to call because it's Monopoly money.
That's how this table's playing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, the big multi-way pots. So there is 17 in the middle. We check. It goes bet pot, call pot, because he has cards. I'm just folding. We have the gutter and overs, but we don't really have clean outs with the 2 hearts out there. And they're pot-sized bets.
If you were facing smaller bets, you could think about calling.
Yeah, for sure. And he had an open. At least he had an open ender this time. All right.
Who's his 5K there?
Anyway, so we open king queen off under the gun. Get called 3 ways. So this is interesting. I feel like I either want to check or bet large. What do you guys think about this spot? We're 3 ways.
It's definitely one of the two.
I'm leaning towards bet.
Yeah, I am a little bit too, just because Jackass is behind
I'd rather
it.
check turns and rivers.
AFA, are you opening King Jack offsuit here? Under the gun?
This deep? I don't know. Probably. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be considering
I have
looking
on the
at.
upswing charts that I'm looking here that I have like King Jack off's not an open, but King Queen off is.
Yeah,
I agree. I don't open King Jack off until I get to the low Jack.
yeah. I mean, looking at these 100 big blind charts, King Queen off is even just a fold. They're saying, which probably can go either way, and then under gun +1. Yeah, so probably shouldn't be opening King Jack offsuit here. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he should.
Anyway, so I check. Yeah, okay, so I like it because if I bet, I never want to get raised because we have so much equity, you know? Like, we have the top pair, good kicker, and a gutter. So I never want to get bet and get raised here. So
You don't want to be blown off it.
yeah, so probably just checking to check call seems right. 7. Do I bet here? I check again. I don't know. Do you guys ever bet this turn when the check's around?
No, never this turn if we're checking flop.
Yeah.
I agree. The player that you have behind you, I really do think like that's the type of player you're just going to want to let bet.
That too. Yeah, that probably went into some decisions, and I hope we win. We win. That's good.
Okay, so he never tried to bluff that pot with ace deuce off. Then.
No, he didn't, which is well.
Okay, see, that's worth noting for sure.
Yeah, I mean that flop should hit a lot of ranges. We call, check. I could. So I think I thought about raising this, and then thought that I have a lot better hands to check raise than this particular combination.
you barrel on any 7-8 or club, and then give up everything else?
Yeah, so no, it looks like I did decide to raise here, which, sure. I mean, we're
Yeah,
raising...
I don't mind to raise at all, man. You got plenty of back doors.
Yeah, so we're raising... I mean, we're raising 7, 8, 8, 9...
Yeah, and I would use... I'd probably go
10
up
jack.
to somewhere around 16, 1800.
Yeah, so, let's see here. Especially against a button open, people who might be c-betting too much, I don't know. But anyway, so...
No, I wouldn't be doing this against, like, a UTG open.
Yeah, no, for sure. Alright, so he bets 355 into 833. We raise to 1400. He calls. Probably
Go a little larger there out of position.
Yeah?
Just a little. Oh, what did you
Well,
want, like
so-
3.2 or something?
Yeah, about 3x, 3.2. So when I do this, when he calls, the pot's going to be 3600, and he has 17k behind. Yeah, you're right. I think a bigger.
Yeah, I guess it's negligible. You went 14. I was thinking 16 or 18, so it's really pretty negligible.
Well, 16 or 18 would be pretty large. I mean, he bets 355, so I mean, 16 would be over 4x.
Oh, 4x. The go usually just over 4x when I'm out of position.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what our value hands here. Oh, we have plenty of value. Queen 6, Queen 5.
Oh, yeah, you got
all that.
sense.
Yeah. All right, so probably need to keep barreling this turn. Although I think I check, and I think I check. This actually, I think I wanted to. I have a bi-monthly webinar with Jonathan Little every month, and I think there's a hand I want to show him because I don't know if I should be betting this because the board doesn't really change for his flop calling range. I mean, he's calling the flop with flush draws and Queen X probably, and the Jack doesn't really change anything. So I'm not sure if I get him to fold any of his range that he called the flop with, except maybe 5s and 6s.
I think that's a good call.
What was that?
No, I was just going to say,
people will call.
One at a time. Someone
You go first all the way.
I was just going to say that I think I have to, I'm going to always continue to bet this turn when it comes, just because, he picked up so much equity from nothing that, I mean, it seems to me just like a great card to barrel on. But.
That being said, now, if I bet, I can't call a raise, but if I check, I can call a bet now, too, because we pick up that much equity. It's a weird spot. I really don't know what the best play is. That's why I'm pretty sure I'm going to use this hand to bring up to Jonathan Little, see what he suggests or what you're supposed to do.
I think when you raise swap, you can still get called by under pairs to the queen, like pocket 10s, pocket 8s, hands like that.
Yeah.
And you're definitely going to get folds from those when you barrel the turn, as are you going to get folds from some of his club flush draws, I would imagine.
Yeah. Hold on, my cat is.
And, if he has ace 4 of clubs or some shit, and you barrel turn again, he probably shouldn't be folding.
Now, ace 4 of clubs can't fold to the turn bet.
I think so if you bet large on the turn.
No, I don't think so. I mean, he has the overcard with the flush draw, and I don't know. It's a weird spot. I also probably want to spend some time putting this in a solver to see what it does. How deep are we here? We are I haven't done much solver work for 100 big blinds deep, so I don't even have any sims set up.
Yeah, I'd probably bet somewhere 2.8 and then evaluate river.
Sorry, so if we bet 2.8, pot's gonna go up to something like 8,000, or 8,000 or more. He's gonna have 14 behind. Yeah, I mean, it could be a triple barrel spot. I wouldn't hate it by any means. So, well, we go check, and we get there on the river, and we don't get value. What does he have here?
Feels like, I don't know, maybe just a queen or ace or something.
I have no, not even. People are stations. Ace 7 offsuit.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, I can't range any of these guys at all.
So I'm just curious, should we be calling this raise with ace 7 offsuit? It doesn't seem terrible, because, I mean, you have backdoor clubs and you have backdoor straights. That being said, now with ace 7 apart, ace 7 here, you block almost all the bluffs, though. So maybe you should be folding ace 7 here.
You block for ace 7, though, with the club.
I mean, just a club. I mean, I guess maybe he's calling here to bluff all club.
It does suck because he's blocking so many of your
right. Like,
semi
What is
bluffs.
the value hand that you're raising here? 5s and 6s?
yeah. I mean, it's a lot of 2 pairs sets. I mean, it's all the 2 pairs and sets, but
Two pairs sets and good draws. That's what you're.
yeah,
And the occasional 9-10 like you have.
he literally blocks all the good draws. So I'm not even sure if Ace-7 wants to bet this flop. Then I don't know.
Well, I don't mind his flop bet.
Yeah.
I don't mind his call either on the flop when you raise.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm definitely going to bring this hand up. I think it's interesting both from my perspective and his perspective. Just because, like you said, I don't hate his call, the raise. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I prefer him betting flop over just checking back, but I don't think him checking back would be awful either.
Yeah, especially, I mean, when you bet, I guess one merit to betting is that you do block all the draws that they can continue with. I don't know. It's weird. I'm gonna probably put on a solver too.
Awesome. That is a really interesting turn spot for you, and I would be really interested to hear what Jonathan says.
Yeah.
Because if they're floating you there with like the ace of clubs, possibly a king of clubs, like that really incentivizes us to barrel the turn. I think to use a lot more folds to go with the 7th, the 8th, the 9th.
Yeah, I guess that question for me, it's well, rather the hand brings up a broader question for me where turn barrels where we pick up a lot of equity, where do we find the balance of betting because we picked up equity or checking because we pick up so much equity we don't want to get blown off the hand? Maybe the right move is, because we're so deep, is just to bet smaller, that way we can call a raise on the turn. Like here there's 36 in the middle. If we bet like smaller, so like if we bet even 50, if we bet 15 and he raises us to 45, I guess we can still call. So maybe I am supposed to just bet.
15 and he goes 35.
Or 45, like I can probably still call, just because there's so much in the middle still. Like
I think that raise is so slim though. He's only raising like pocket queens, pocket jacks. There's not many raises he's gonna have with our line.
Yeah, it's I'm supposed to bet. All right.
I like betting turn. That's just me.
Yeah, no, looking at it, maybe just betting is right.
No, I really think he's calling you on the flop with 7s, 8s, 9. Like he's not just going to give up because you check raise that flop with.
Yeah, no, I agree. So yeah, maybe probably a mistake. I think I should be especially deep stack. Now, question like, what do we do short stacked?
I mean, then again, you did win the thing, so.
Yeah, I mean it's all relative. Anyway, so our favorite player limps. Someone min raises him because that's gonna work. I call in the small blind because I don't expect this guy to re-raise. We flop a pair. Checks around. That's a really bad card. All right, do we win?
Win?
We chop with the no, we don't. We lost to ace-8.
I believe that ace-8 didn't try at any point to take that.
It's just so multi-way. But
you get checks through on flop and turn.
Well, the turn is bad. The turn is so now he can't really bet because any king, queen, or heart or spade draw is going to call him, and
I don't think any queen's checking twice.
that's true.
Yeah,
That's
I agree.
easy to call.
I got a question for you guys. The guy who min raises with ace-8, do you guys normally interpret that to be extremely weak? Because that's how I look at it. Like,
I just see him as being terrible.
Where did he raise from? I didn't notice.
So the thing is that it went under the gun limp, and then this guy raises from the low jack. I just interpret that as being terrible because.
I'm sorry. What was the pre-flop action?
Under the gun limp, and then low jack min raises to 300.
He tries to ISO it. Yeah, that's as bad as it gets. He doesn't even make it a decent size.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he literally min raises it with ace-8 offsuit.
Like if this guy makes it like 450 or 550, he just gets to bet the flop and take it down. Well, not even
like
this guy.
it, I mean, he should just be chucking the ace-8.
Oh, that
in my
too.
opinion.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, I wouldn't be noting that guy. That was terrible. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it's anyway.
It's like
So the next hand, this guy opens from early-ish position. At this point, we're like 75 big blinds deep. 3-bet with queens. Of course, that guy.
I go larger here because of the fact that we are deeper.
So let's see, I'm 75 big blinds deep with this guy.
Probably go like
behind me.
1,500.
Yeah, one thing I think I keep.
And I'm not just doing that just because we have queens. Like, literally all my 3-bets would be that size.
Yeah, I think recently I've been trying to 3-bet like 2.5x in position, but yeah, I think I do need to start going bigger, at least deep stack, because that's what I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting that
Players like
yeah.
these, for sure. These guys are just fucking calling anything.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that deep stack that should be 3-betting larger in position. I keep, like, short stack, yeah, the 2.5x can be cool, but yeah, deep stack I should be bigger.
If you had like 30 bigs here or something, sure, yeah. But
Right.
yeah, deeper, I think 15, maybe even. Yeah, 15 I like.
Okay. Yeah, I agree, bigger. So
Especially because of who the original Razor is, and you still have the monkey 2 to your left who's literally calling everything.
it's just crazy. It's just yeah. So it's a party on the flop. Check. He
I'm just throwing balance out the window versus these guys.
yeah.
I just don't like raising bigger just because we're deeper. Like in a cash game situation, you're not betting large just because you have more big blinds per se. You're playing multi-street poker when you're deeper. You're not going broke with queen first.
Yeah, but we have like a top tier hand deep stacked a bunch against the guys who are not folding anything.
Also, deep stack, you do want to cut down on implied odds. Like if someone is sitting there with pocket fives, you don't really want to give them the proper price to set mine. And even
when I'm playing deep in cash games, that does influence my decision on raise sizing based on how deep we are. I will sometimes go larger against opponents who are super deep with me. But
and I think that's the correct play, to basically just make it larger when deep stacked. And I think that's an adjustment I keep forgetting to make.
Yeah, I'm just going a little bit larger pre-flop in general.
Yeah. So it's a party in the flop. I'm sure this guy leads out for like almost pot. So there's 45 in the middle. This guy leads out for 34. I probably just raise because I don't want these guys to float with nothing. Yeah, so I make it 97. This guy shoves, we call, and we hold. Oh no, we spike it on the turn. He has 2 pair.
8-9 off.
It's fine. I'm never
8-9 off. Yeah.
getting away from it or anything stupid like that on the flop, and you can't really flat when he donk leads. So
Yeah, I'm raising every time.
Yeah.
me too.
Just
There's just so many turns you're not a fan of.
Yeah. Just for fun,
Brett,
this guy
yeah,
called
I
a
was
ace 3 off. And this guy a jacks.
I wanted to say I was fine with the 3-bet side 3-flop normally against decent players, but when I see a guy with a 49% EPIP and I got this other idiot behind me, then I would go with it.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think it's that we're deep.
Because I know he's never folding. I'm just trying to exploit this guy. I'm just trying to get as
Yeah, it
much
would be
chips
more
as
of an
possible.
exploitive adjustment for myself.
That's why I'm putting in more money pre, because he's literally just never folding.
Yeah, well that's what I mean. I mean against just a decent reg that has good.
Oh, I
stats,
see what you're saying.
I'm fine with Chris's side, but when I see 49, is this the defense 49?
But then on the other side of that, you don't really want to give a decent reg good pot odds either in position on you.
True. I mean, I generally go 3 but.
That one person.
Well, I really only started going larger after getting some coaching, and that was like kind of the one thing my coach pointed out to me.
Yeah.
He's like, you need to go larger and go for value. You're balancing too much against guys who don't even know how to spell the words. So
Yeah, I'm not doing it for balance. I mean, sometimes I get a lot of that. So
Yeah, no, I think the larger size at pre-flop is probably correct. I know Jonathan Little mentions that too. Just deeper stack, make it larger. Because of that reason, smaller stack you can make things 3-bets smaller. Especially these days, people are calling 3-bets much more these days. So
true.
nobody folds a 3-bet. I think I'm probably one of the tightest players to a 3-bet.
you guys think about that guy who flatted jacks to the 3-bet. Is that what you're doing? Is flat calling? Like,
No.
I don't know. That's a weird spot because that guy was like 200 big blinds deep with me.
I'll fold things like ace queen off to a 3-bet for certain players.
Yeah, versus like if you open ace queen off early
You gotta think
position.
about like population tendency that at those stakes that the most of us play. Like people's 3-bet ranges are just way too tight.
For sure.
That's why we need to do that more.
I'm just saying, like, I don't flat 3-bet very often because their range is just so nutted usually.
I agree, especially on global,
Four-bet
for
Jack
sure.
there, then?
What was that?
Are you going to 4-bet Jacks there, then?
I'm not sure. Well, I don't know. It's, I mean, you
What
know,
spot are we talking about with jacks? Did I miss the hand?
that was the queen's hand. That guy flattered me with jacks.
I kind of just cold called with
Yeah,
Jack.
out of the big blind with Jacks.
I don't like the cold call.
I think you're right.
Oh,
That's why I
That's
feel
a
like
fold,
that's
better fold.
not to think about. Is
Yeah,
just
four
like,
bet.
Well, I guess the problem with jacks here is that actually no, he's 75 big blinds deep. He should probably just jam. Like when I 3-bet and there's a cold call by the fucking maniac, Jack should probably just jam. Because at this point there's 3,000 in the middle, he has 15, 16 back.
A little too deep, though.
But what size is he going to
There's
make
not
it?
8,000 in the middle. There's only 3.8 in the middle.
So but but what size is he going to make it? I mean, I guess if he isolates to...
Wait, he starts the hand with how many bigs?
He starts with 75 big blinds. So think about it, if we're in the pocket jack situation, so my 3-bet was to 1,100. If he 4-bets now to, let's just say he makes a 3x, to 33. Now, I'm probably, I mean, folding or jamming, I guess, but if I call, this guy's calling, and then if I jam, well, then he has to call if jacks are 75 bigs. I don't know. It's
I don't know. It's kind of weird because
2,700 and folding to a jam with Jacks. I don't know. That's
actually I don't mind that at all. That might be a pretty decent way to go about. I think getting in jacks for this many blinds pre versus early open and a 3-bet's probably not that great.
I agree.
Yeah, and
Being
being
looked up by like hands that crush you and probably 2 overs is the
and
only.
being that the 3-bet is only 5.5 big blinds. I mean, he can definitely 4-bet fold for sure. I think. It's not like he's in a position where.
So do you guys prefer him 4-bet folding or flatting?
In this,
I think flatting is really bad going forward.
Well, hold on, I mean-
Go forward.
I don't think flatting for him is that bad, just because when this guy cold calls, now this person's really incentivized to call. I mean, here's the thing, if he flats jacks here, he can very easily now fold if this guy 4-bets, and doesn't matter what I do. Jacks can just
What
fold
do you
with
guys
very
think about, say he has 10s instead of jacks? Are you still doing the same thing with 10s?
I think,
4-bet fold?
no, I mean, 10s is just way worse in that situation, I think.
I don't know. I don't think flatting jacks is that bad here. It's going to be pretty easy to play post flop.
Yeah, I mean, you're just
Yeah, that's a
mostly
good point.
set mining, unless there's...
Just turning him into a set mine.
And when you're so deep, you're going to be able to find so many better spots. Well, if you were him and a decent player, not a jackass. For him, he probably wants to get it in. But,
Also, at this
You're
point,
right.
like my 3-bet at this point is probably very low. So if he has a HUD up, and his stats look like a decent reg from the hands I have on him, he's running a 25-15 with 11% 3-bet. So if he's looking at my 3-bet stats, and this is like, my 3-bet stats are like 3% right now, he probably doesn't want to 4-bet me.
Alright, listen to this point, too. Alright, so we get owned post flop and have to fold to what looks like an overpair. Well, I think everyone's, there's like a dog bark, keeps annoying me. But I think everyone's used to thinking that everyone thinks like them. What is the most logical opinion of the average reg when someone 4-bets? Are they really going to get it call with ace-3 because they have the pot odds?
no.
So when people see 4-bets, they fucking run away.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's
As
why
they should. Most 4-bets at this stage.
4-betting there is going to be way superior to flatting, in my opinion.
I don't think if he...
You're just going to get to realize, even against queens there, like, are you going to feel good betting that flop with queens versus a 4-bet? You're probably going to realize your equity with jacks there. You might even be able to blow someone off if you got a set of nads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting spot. I don't hate 4-bet folding at all. I don't.
I'm just curious what the pot odds would be if we 4-bet and then fold it to a
What are you
jam.
going to 4-bet up to, like 4.2 or something?
I think if you make it that big, you have to call. I'm saying if you make it like
No, that's
3,000...
I think you can make it really small, actually, like, or like 2,700 or something, where he can then, like, I mean, if he makes it 4K, he's gonna almost have to, or 4,500, he'll have to like call off then.
Exactly, so that's what I
The
think.
problem with 4-betting small is you're just giving great equity Like, if you 4-bet to 27 here, literally the guys behind could almost be folding nothing.
Exactly. So that means if you 4-bet to like 45, you can't fold because you're just going to get the pot odds.
We will.
That's why I'm wondering if when you 4-bet, or see, because I don't like the small 4-bet, so it's almost like if you choose to 4-bet, you're kind of going to go with it.
So that's why I say maybe just jamming here is best with jacks, because you're gonna, if you've jammed 75 bigs, you're gonna fold out ace king, ace queen for sure. And well, you know, if you have
Maybe ace king.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a weird spot. It's a really weird spot for jacks here.
I mean, after seeing that specific player 3-bet ace-5 and then call with queen jack off, like, I'm never folding queens or ace king in your spot.
Oh yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm probably not folding. God, if I get what do we do here with queens if this guy cold 4-bet jams us?
I'm probably calling.
Yeah, I mean it's a 6 spot. Like I don't really think I'm, because I see that being ace king a lot too. So yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, he's gonna probably do that a lot. Well, I say jacks, but we can clearly see he's not. But I would assume jacks would be in there, ace king, ace queen, queens, obviously.
Yeah, it's
I see enough people flattening 4-bets because they're priced in today's world. I just don't.
I think you're getting flatted all the time there if you make it 27.
yeah. If you make it small, then they just have every reason to flat.
It would be a mistake to almost fold anything there for that price.
Right, but we're talking about the average player that makes mistakes.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, all.
All right, I don't know. I think it's a good hand to bring up and just include that point of what.
Yeah, I agree. I tagged it for the sake of seeing what you do with jacks there, because it's a weird spot. But anyway, so here we are, what, 250, so we have 200 bigs, everyone else has 100 or so. Open, I fold here, I can, I don't know, weird stack size. I think if I play this, we 3-bet it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's opening
I
on
mind
the...
if you're not really getting punished behind.
Oh no, it's not a limp. I'm sorry, never mind. Under the gun opens, and then this guy calls. Never mind, this is a clear fold. I thought that low jack opened, but under the gun opened and low jack called. Or hijack.
Yeah.
So... Hey, I guess I don't like calling just because we're going to be dominated by one of these guys really easily.
I don't think a call would be terrible. I don't think folding's terrible. I don't think 3-betting would be terrible. Like, that's kind of a...
Yeah, I could get behind 3-betting if I think so.
Is, how many big blinds did you say you had?
So I'm starting the hand with like almost 200 bigs.
200 bigs.
Everyone else has 100 to 150. What was that?
The charts that I have, yeah, Queen 9 suited is a hand that it looked about 70% of the time they recommended 3-bet, or Nick Angelo does.
Versus an under the gun open though?
Early position, it doesn't have under the gun, but
okay, yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, I could get behind it, just sure.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Anything you feel like doing there based on the table and the game flow.
As long as you're not playing any too like.
I wonder if because the two guys behind are calling so often, if in general you should tighten your 3-bet range.
Yeah, I think that's smart as well because there's a cold calling 2-bets and stuff, so it's
Yeah, and playing out of position against those guys when they can have any 2 cards is pretty
Yeah,
terrible.
with that info, based on that info, I'm leaning towards fold.
Yeah, maybe just tighten up the 3-bet range.
Alright, so full size pocket 10s in the small blind. I raise, he calls. Oh, that's so interesting. Check or bet?
A little bit bigger pre-flop. I make it 4x when it's small blind to big blind.
Yeah, I made it like 3.5x. I usually go 3.5x. It's probably, I mean, either or, yeah.
That deep is good. I like 4x when we're shorter.
I 4x just because not everybody fucking defends the big blind so loosely.
Yeah.
Check or bet, big.
I'm betting.
Yeah, probably should bet and probably not fold. We're pretty deep though. I mean, we're over 100 big blinds deep. So I check, he checks back. Same thing, I guess. Like if we bet and get raised on, like that's pretty gross, especially because we block the bluffs.
Well, that's true, but I think thought process can hinder us in some ways. What you said is 100% true, but we got to remember how many hands we can be ahead here and get value from.
Yes.
That being said, the board's probably much better for his range than it is yours, so...
I feel like if we were shorter stacked, I would like betting more, because then it's like we're just getting it in easier, but deeper stacked.
Maybe like check
Big
that.
stack, we have to play more turns and rivers.
Yeah.
I think
checking here is better.
I think there's merit.
Yeah, I like the check. For sure, I think against a competent opponent, he should be raising the flop a lot when you leave it.
You figure you're getting 3-bet with all his ace kings, ace queens, ace jack, maybe king queens, some queen jack. So a lot of his overcards have been 3-bet already. So like I think checking is perfectly fine, personally.
I have no problem with it. I don't think betting's bad either, but yeah, checking seems fine.
Yeah, I don't think it's terrible to bet either. Just
I think he still has plenty of like king jack offsuits and queen jacks and stuff like that, but
What do we think?
that flop, we almost certainly need to find a check on the turn a lot of the time.
What do we
It's
think of?
probably not a three street hand unless we go bet, and then it comes like runner deuce deuce or 3-3 or some sort of brick run out. Then you could probably go for 3 streets.
Yeah. I like checking flop.
What do you? I mean, just this isn't even like following a chart too much, but as far as like what we're raising from small blind, as far as our value hands, something like this.
Yeah, I would probably include some of the suited broadways you don't. Or do you have queen 10 suit? I can't see there.
Hold on, let me. I wanna. All right. That's a chart 100 big blind charts, something like this. I mean, let's say I'm like loosely following the chart a little
So
bit.
they advocate limping king 10 suited, queen jack, queen 10, 10 suited. I tend to raise all my suited Broadway, small blind to big blind, and most of my good pairs, but obviously limping it can't be bad either. Especially if you limp a lot, small blind to big blind, you want to include some of those real strong Broadways.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, because again, like the chart that I have is limping pretty much 100%
But deep stacked.
deep stacked.
I mean, that's definitely a strategy. I mean, it's. I
That's
think you
a
could
fun
go, yeah, I
strategy.
think you could go either way with that. You know, it's. So let's just assume this guy's, defending pretty wide and 3-bets us with, top.
Oh, the big blind is definitely defending wide. The shit I see people flat with out of the big blind is fucking insane.
Yeah. So let's just say.
Especially versus small blind open, they just don't believe it.
Yeah. So let's just say he's defending most things that aren't terrible. Sure.
Let's see how we look on that flop versus that range.
9, 6 of hearts, 8 spades. There is, let's just make some simple numbers here. 1950 in the middle, effective stacks behind, 25, 7. That's correct. And so let's just make this easy. 33, check, or 75. Build tree, build new tree. Okay. Solver.
What is this fancy technology?
Yeah, this is GTO plus, so it's one of a solver that's like on the a cheaper end of the spectrum, but it works nice. I like it. Well, that's solving. Let's just go through this as played. We checks behind. Don't see any merit in betting. He bets, call. That's kind of gross. Check. He checks. We win. Yeah, we win. Right? Yeah. Okay.
I think you guys played fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if we can again call a river. But, I mean, probably have to call a river.
I'm calling the river.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm calling.
I would imagine he's betting most of his 7s when you check the flop.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, he's a good hand. Alright, so we open. Of course, the one hand, this guy decides to
But you're
fold.
also way more GTO than I.
Well, I mean, it's.
Do you guys think that? Do you think?
What's up?
Think about it. Somebody cut out.
Yeah.
I think that was Donald?
Can you
No,
guys?
I'm here.
Okay. Someone was saying, do I think that what? Something?
Yeah, I think you cut out mid-talk.
I heard somebody saying something that cut out. We were talking about, somebody said you guys are more GTO, and then somebody was going to pipe in something.
Was that me?
All right, anyway,
Yeah, so anyway, this guy decides to take a hand off.
of course, when you have aces, right?
Yeah, alright, so 37 in the middle. Probably want to bet big. I don't know what the correct bet size here is. This guy started the hand with.
This is a spot I love to check, especially when we hold the ace of diamonds.
Me too.
Yeah,
I
no,
love checking here.
I agree. And actually, I don't realize that there's a 3-bet pot, so we're playing about 50 big
Specifically
blinds.
holding a diamond. Kings with a diamond.
Are you checking there every time, or just with some small frequency?
No, I'm just some frequency, not small frequency. Probably about half the time, I'd say, against certain opponents.
Yeah, so check this out. So, yeah, this solver's saying basically check 100% on that board. Just because it favors, again, I mean, this is our assumed somewhat range on the 9-8-6 board. So
Telling you to check flop because the flop's better for his range?
Yeah, I mean, really, he has such a nut advantage. Like, if you look at our range, we just have no 2 pairs and straights and stuff. You know, that's all in our limping range.
That makes
So-
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense. He checks and he's, you know, whatever. The rest doesn't matter too much, but alright, cool. Don't bet. Alright, so here, yeah, under the gun actually opens, and we decide to 3-bet, and again, I'll flat here sometimes, but I think because people have been so call happy,
This
yeah,
50, you should definitely be putting in, a raise. I mean, he starts the hand, what?
50. He starts with 50 bigs. So he min raises to 600. We make it 15. So considering it's a 3-bet pot now, probably just bet small with our entire 3-bet range. 37 in the
But
middle.
even checking, we get kings, all over pairs to blast off. We get,
Yeah, but really, I mean, we also gotta think what's his. I mean, his range here should still have a lot of pairs and over cards and possibly like hands like 10 jack that aren't gonna fold. That I think we can still get value from if we bet small.
yeah.
I agree. I just tend to lean towards more like checking aces and kings with the diamond and then betting like 10 jacks, queens for protection more.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I definitely choose to do that sometimes.
And I think it only matters as much when you're playing against more competent players that you play against on a like frequent basis. So like when you're checking your like some of your weaker hands as well, or like your ace queens and stuff.
Right, a little more balanced.
Plus his range, he probably missed this board pretty heavily. If he's opening UTG and then only flatting a 3-bet.
Yeah.
I mean, he can
block a lot of the hands.
flat like jacks, queens sometimes too, like because he's perceived to have like a super tight range under the gun. So
Ace, queen, jacks, tens.
I mean, yeah, I agree that he'll probably float like his. Obviously, he doesn't have many like ace kings but like jack 10 suited, those sort of things. Like I think he can float to small bets a lot on the
Jack 10 of hearts even.
Yeah, I do think that small bet is good.
Okay,
I lean towards betting. I don't really think checking's bad either.
Yeah. So, well, he folds. What do you have? I'm gonna see if I can just find. I'm just curious. Doesn't matter too much.
I just think his range, unfortunately, misses that board so hard that maybe a check isn't the worst idea.
Yeah. He had king queen. So.
Give him a chance to catch up, with a king or a queen or a jack.
Yeah, I think it's a good mix there. Without a diamond, we definitely bet.
I think he should be folding
Can you
that.
guys hear it?
I think if he's loose or aggressive, he might bet might be better because he can probably show up with more hands on that board than the average player who opens UTG, who's tighter.
You guys folding king queen offsuit there because I think that's like my worst open under the gun. So I
Snap folding to a 3-bet.
snap
Am I folding king queen under the gun? Is that what you're asking?
So like when you get 3-bet and you opened under the gun in his shoes, he called the 3-bet.
Folding king queen 100% of the time.
You said calling or folding 100% of the time.
I told you I'm pretty nitty from the small blind. I'm pretty nitty facing 3-bets from most of these players.
I mean, I made it small. He's getting 3-1, so yeah,
I'm
probably.
going larger here too. I'm going like 2K.
Yeah. Well, this is 50 big blind. Yeah, he's 50 big blind, so yeah, maybe I should be going larger still.
Yeah, and I doubt he's folding 2K if he's calling 15.
That's true. But I would say 2K is a little large. I mean, that's a little over 3x.
So, question. Do you think we're getting more value from those hands by betting the flop there, or are we getting more value from them potentially blasting off bluffs on turns and ripping?
Which hands?
That's why I
This
don't like
situation.
Oh, from King Queen, we're obviously getting much more money checking
No.
because he's just never.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying against his entire range, then, not his specific holding.
I think,
But, like, do you
exploitatively
think we're getting
speaking,
more
checking
value
aces there is
betting?
good. Just if you're not worried about balance, checking aces there is good because you're not worried about getting.
Yeah, I
out.
think checking's probably best. Yeah, if you're not balancing it versus his perceived range.
Because, I mean, you got to think about, like, well, what other hands are you really giving up? Because, I mean, if you have ace-king here, you're probably going to bet still.
Yeah, you really only get value here from like hands that he flatted that he didn't get it in with, like tens. Some random Broadway diamond draws, although you block a decent amount of those. So, yeah, I think in general a check probably is better here if you're not really concerned with balancing.
Yeah.
Actually, even from the viewpoint of balancing, it's probably a decent balance to be checking there.
I'm just not sure what other hands you want to balance there. I mean, just depending on
You can then check back like ace king type hands and try and realize some equity. If you had like ace king there with one diamond,
Yeah.
betting my overpairs that don't contain diamonds and checking a lot of the time with the ones that do. Just
I mean, what are you guys doing on that board with a king one diamond?
Who is that talking? Because I didn't purchase my book.
I'm checking.
This is crypto talking.
Alright, crypto, I could note to 3-bet you more.
Sure, bro, I'm literally counting on I fold the 3-bet. But as soon as I catch you doing one light, it's all over.
Yeah.
A couple.
Alright, so just found another hand. Just blind versus blind, limp, king 3 suited. I mean, queen 3 suited. I'd probably just check giving up here. Probably bet here. There we go. Bet to pick up a gutter. Yeah. I don't have any good comments about that. Oh yeah, this is a new table, by the way, so we're no longer playing with our favorite player. This is king 10 off in the low jack. Yeah, just fold.
That's a fold.
This guy makes it huge. No, this guy just made. What happened here?
Looks like you
Yeah, this. Why did I? So I folded here. I'm trying to figure out why. So blinds are 200, 400. This guy is 14K behind. He basically min-raises. He makes it
He's opening off with just a little bit over 30 bigs, about 33.
Is that right? Yeah, you're right. Okay. Yeah. So we
I
fold. I mean, are there short stacks around? Not.
Yeah. Maybe we just made a misclick, man.
Yeah, maybe I could have timed out here too. I usually call here.
First 30 big blind stack, you can, or my chart says call half the time with king queen off and fold half the time. And I mean, that's not taking into account, like, you have this guy with 7,200, the guy with 10K right behind you that can jam over, or yeah, I mean, I don't know.
No, I agree. I think I may have just timed out, or I just still read the guy. He just has ace 9, and I'm like,
I
alright,
think
we're
it's
just
just
gonna
a
not
call.
get involved. Yeah, I probably would have called there.
I mean, you're not like low or anything, but
Yeah. Alright. Big blind here. Probably won't play this hand. Yeah.
Who's the other dude talking? Tier, Modus?
Someone. Tier Modus
I
is
just
in
know who
here.
I am.
I know Tier Modus was in here. Maybe he's not anymore. Maybe he's just watching. So this is another blind versus blind hand. Limp 4 deuce suited. We have nothing, and this guy is short. I guess I
you guys
can.
hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow, this is Jared Modus. I've been like somehow my push to talk is not working for like the last hour, and I'm like, are they ignoring me? What the fuck?
Dude,
Everyone just hates your comments, bro.
I'm like, yeah, dude, everyone just
disregard this guy.
Yeah, I'll try to figure out the push to talk, but I'm here, I'm watching.
I like to bet here, and in general, when it goes small blind limp to big blind, just checking back, I usually stab almost all flops, pretty tiny.
Yeah, and he starts the hand with 25 bigs. So
And you have
I have him covered.
high, so
So I'm probably just done with it. God, I hope I'm done with it. Oh, why? Why am I doing this? God.
You earned equity.
I mean, I guess. I don't like this. I'm not even sure if I like the flop bet. I mean, it's just like...
You can't just bet once and give up.
Go blind versus blind battles.
Dude, I'm over betting turn 3,200.
So there's 27 in the pot. I bet 16 and he calls, and they were obviously just done with it. What the fuck did he have?
Yes, I'd like to see his 8-9.
Yeah, right.
This is the most ridiculous thing. I don't understand what people think they're doing.
This is why we overbet turn.
Oh my god, just fold the fucking turn.
Tell me that 3,200 wouldn't work right there.
I don't understand why. This should have worked. He has bottom pair, and I mean, I guess if
You
I'm
gotta
sick,
get more overbets, man.
maybe. I mean, maybe I.
Flop bets and overbet that shit. 125% turn.
What does he think he's making me fold here? What does he think he's making me fold here? Like just like he thinks I have a jack, so he's calling the turn to make me fold a jack on the river. Like, God.
A jack.
I swear I got bluffed in the most absurd spots in this tournament.
You're never folding any.
Here's the thing, the reason why I'm not sure if I even like the turn bet is because I feel like he's just not folding any of his pairs. Except the three. Except the three. I feel like a three is the only thing he folds, and apparently he doesn't even fold the three.
You probably fold 6s, 7s, to overbet like a boss versus little stack.
Maybe I should overbet? I don't know. Jonathan is about to have a overbetting webinar with Jonathan Jaffe. I mean,
Overbet is so 2020. I don't even know why I'm sharing this information.
So 2020. Alright, so that was a weird hand. I don't... maybe that bigger on the turn. I don't know.
Everybody's gonna call my own bets now.
Alright, so the blinds went up. We have a little under 100. Like a 40-ish, 60 big blind stack opens, min raises. I expect that I just call here on the button. No, I 3-bet. What am I... So, I would much rather a call here. What do you guys think? I don't love 3-betting. Oh, well, okay, I thought he was in an earlier position. He's opening from another gun +2? Sure.
Yeah, I'm 3-betting, flat and ace jack, ace 10.
I like 3-betting ace queen off more than ace queen suited, personally.
Yeah, it's...
Here and I apparently started the same shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe if I don't know if maybe his HUD stats said something like different when I had less hands on him, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean either way, I mean I don't hate the 3-bet.
Yeah, it's fine either way. I think.
I remember this fucking hand. This was a HUD stat hand. I 3-bet him because it looked like he was opening too much at the time, so I decided to 3-bet instead of flat.
Okay.
And then we have this third. Yeah, and because I'm deep with him. And then a 30 big blind stack shoves. Or not even 30. What does he start the hand with? He has 13.5 divided by 5. He has 27 big blinds. We get shoved on by 20. Cold 4-bet, 25 big blind shove. What do you guys do here? Call or fold?
Yeah, this is...
It's gross. I'm probably folding.
Yeah, me too, I think.
Like, literally, because I hate fucking folding. I'm literally crying.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I call. He has kings. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's like.
It's not. It can't be terrible.
No, it really can't be. It can't be terrible.
No, it's like. I mean, Like, yeah, it's fine.
I think it's so close. It's it's not that. It doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, it's. I when this happened, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I kind of wish that I just flatted and then.
And like, it's so easy for him to flip over 10 jacks there, and you're just fine with it. You know?
Yeah, that's true. He's gonna. Yeah, you're right. He's doing this aces, kings. He's also doing it with tens and jacks. So those nullify those. Ace, king. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's probably fine.
I think we will look a little closer at his HUD numbers when making the decision.
Yeah, but also remember, like, these. So the HUD stats I have here are the HUD stats at the end of the tournament, like what I had on them final.
Okay,
So it's not like sometimes during a hand, maybe I only had 10 hands of them, or less, or more, or whatever. All right. So at this point, what do we have?
Shoving like 8s, 9s, or 10s there.
You said you are? Cut out.
I think the majority of people are shoving 8s, 9s, and 10s there.
Yeah.
Off his stack side, or
yeah. All right, so we're down to 60 some bigs. We got an open, a call, probably calling here. What was that?
What were the pot odds for Florida?
It's I don't know. It's
like 11 or like
25 to win.
10,500 to win.
We probably needed somewhere like 40%, maybe 42%. So it's. I mean, depending on the range, it's probably close, probably call.
If he's shoving 8 plus.
Yeah. All right. So, what is this? Cutoff opens, big blind calls. We have 60 big blinds, 60 plus. We call. Let's see. It goes check. It checks around. I have middle pair. We check. Checks around again. I'm not sure if. Do you guys ever lead this here just because it's good for our range, or probably just try to get the showdown?
I'm not leading.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I should be, but I'm usually just this may be a big league, but I'm like any sort of this showdown value. I'm just checking.
No, I think that's correct. I think just showdown, and do we win? We win. That's nice.
I'm surprised that neither of them is or sad that either flop or turn. But.
Yeah. All right, so we open Jack. This is a fun hand. Okay, so. All right, we open Jack 10 off here. We have 60 big blind, 60 or 70 bigs. We have 70 bigs. Small blind calls. Small blind's calling off a 50 big blind stack-ish. Big blind folds. All right, small blind versus button. There's 2,900 in the pot. Check. We bet 1,000, so about a third pot. Think seems standard. It's pretty dry board. He calls. Turns a 10, so we make two pair. 9-8 does get there, but obviously trying to get more value. He checks. There's 4,900 in the pot.
Now, when you have overbets in your range, you get to overbet here.
Though, I mean, do you really want to? But what's the purpose of overbetting here? Like, what are we getting called by that's worse? Like, we're only getting called by 7-5 and Jack 5, and those might raise the flop.
Ace Jack, King Jack.
I mean, Ace Jack he might not have in his range. He might 3-bet it. King Jack, sure, but I don't know. I mean, what do you do in the small blind if someone overbets and you have King Jack?
Yeah, that's true. Proceed.
So there's 4,900 in the middle, and I bet 3,500 with the two pair. He calls. Turns a king. So there is 11.8k in the middle. He leads out for 7,500. What do you guys do here? What do you think about this?
I don't know. I think I just call. Yeah.
I don't think raising. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not about raising. It's just like
I'm calling. I'm just calling every time.
I'm never folding. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm just calling.
But the thing is, like, so what value do we beat, and what bluffs does he have? Like, so his value hands here are King Jack, Jack 10, 9-8, Jack 5, 7 suited, and I So here's
I
the
mean, you're not getting value from a good player is not value betting words probably, but then again, do you have any reads on this guy?
not really. I think this is the guy who had kings who doubled up through me.
A lot of his strong hands raise turn, like his two pairs and his
Exactly.
sets and
That's
his
what I'm saying.
straights.
So now, what bluffs does he have? So what bluffs does he have on the flop and turn that he's now bluffing with, or turning hands into bluff with on the river?
It's a great question. Unless he's doing a quick take, which would just be insane, but
I mean, maybe 10-9, but obviously we block that.
I'm just wondering if he's a donk enough to somehow have a king here.
Well, king at the diamonds, and think he's good. I don't know. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but
Do you think he ever does this? Do you think he ever does this with king queen of diamonds?
Well, I don't think he has king queen on the flop. I mean, maybe. I mean, sure. Maybe he floats with king
Diamonds on
high.
the flop, he could have king queen of diamonds, I would
well,
think.
there's jack or flush draw and straight draw. Yeah.
We block none of the diamonds. We don't block kings or queens. I don't know, man. It's kind of a stupid spot.
It is a stupid, like, to me, like,
I typically feel like people that lead on rivers are usually pretty nutted, mostly.
exactly. Like, and that's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking like the king is like, okay, this looks a lot like king jack or king 7 suited.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I just think our hand is too strong to fold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's like 8-9 here tons, but I think I'm just still folding because people just spaz way too often.
I think he raises up 8-9 on the turn.
That's true. Like I feel like a lot of the value hands that either we beat, a lot of the value hands that we beat, I feel like would have raised us sometimes. Unless you still take a set.
That's what I'm saying. People are almost definitely ahead on the turn. So if you're beat, it only has to be somehow with the king. So kind of gross unless he's like block. He might be block betting like king jack.
It's a big bet though. He bets 75 into 11-8.
That is a huge bet.
He bets a quarter of his stack, a third of his stack actually.
Well, it's pretty polarizing. You're either ahead or you've got air.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think if this, I fold, but I think if this was not a big tournament, I think I'm calling here because it's like I have fucking 2 pair. But I don't know. It's such a fucking weird spot because again, I don't know what bluffs I beat. Except this one.
What?
Oh my goodness. Alright, dude, let's just say you're calling everything from here on out from any
I know, like, it's fucking crazy.
That's how I go about my poker life. I just fucking don't fold. And I just
click that. Yeah, well, you know.
And
I
the
will
thing
say
is-
that I'm shocked to see the play in
You can't get bluffed if you call.
Like, the thing is, I usually call you, like, especially, like, in the past couple months, from doing a lot of webinars with Jonathan Little, it's like, okay, I need to call more. I have equity to call here a lot. And
Yeah, we're just leveling ourselves in the 10. Like, I was wondering if he even bets a king here, but look what he's fucking betting.
I know, it's fucking, I don't even understand. Like, this hand shouldn't be in his range. That's why it was so weird. And it's like, so, like, usually when weird shit happens and, like, I don't like it, it's like, okay, just fold. Because a lot of times when that stuff happens, someone has it. I don't know if I'm leveling myself, or I don't know if this just happens to be the one time that someone just didn't have it.
I
Like, it's
agree
not
with you
weird.
that the majority of people that lead rivers like that usually have it, from what I've seen. But I just think when you have 2 pair like this, your hand's just too strong that you just have to call kind of, and it's just
You are definitely studying other
too strong to fold. And this would be another good hand to bring up with Jonathan Little of just.
He's gonna tell me to call. I know he's gonna tell me. And I was like, I'm so sure he's gonna tell me to call. He doesn't like folding. Little is the station, absolutely.
He's going to tell you to call for sure. It's just, I don't know. Capable of showing up with anything. Just don't see how you do anything else other than call. I mean, it does suck because he pretty much should have you beat with that bet or complete error. So it's one or the other. You're either beat or you're nothing.
And
I just think the key doesn't really help. The key doesn't help the flop range at all.
exactly, it's so weird.
It only helps some sort of range that picked up something on the turn that could call on the flop.
Yeah, like
It's
maybe.
just like, oh, I
That's pretty narrow. I think the only thing I thought that he might be betting here for value would be king queen of diamonds if he's bad.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
King 5 suited. Some of the time,
Yeah, that's true. He could definitely have that. I think you have to call.
Yeah, no, I think it's a mistake. That being said, so that whole notion I was saying before about like when something seems really weird and like it just doesn't feel right to like just fold. I gotta say, like I feel like that's helped me a lot in recent months. That's something from an Alex Fitzgerald and Mike Watson video. This guy who won the Sunday Million and kind of like crushes poker stars.
I know who he is.
Yeah, so well, I saw he did a vid. He's done 2 training videos with this guy. He did a video how to win the Sunday Million and this one how to beat turbo tournaments. I found
the best data on poker players like of anybody ever.
I wonder if he's the type of player that could possibly do this with like 8-6 or something, 8-6 of diamonds or something like that.
maybe I didn't even think about it. Like yeah, that was like the one hand. Like,
If he's betting 7, he's definitely the type of player who could bet 8-6 on the river, right?
yeah.
He's not betting the 7 as for value. I don't even know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, you know, fuck.
He's trying to get you, I think he's trying to get you off what he perceived to be a jack.
Yeah, you know, you're right. I don't think I thought about this in game. Like I beat 8-6 and I beat 6-4. 9-8 probably would have raised all of the 2 pairs. It's like
You beat some floats that picked up diamonds on the turn.
I think
I think there's just too much that you beat and your hand's too high up in your range that you just have to.
I really think this fold was strictly from playing a tournament that was like really big with a good structure, and obviously that's a reason why not to play, you know, tournaments that may be perceived as like outside of your bankroll. That being said, yeah, this is pretty much in my bankroll. That's why I sold 30%. So I as well have 30% of me for this. So
because it's larger than you typically play.
yeah. So it's like, yeah.
Your little
Yeah, it's just mentally like looking at your bankroll, but it just feels bigger. Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So I got bluffed here. That
cool
was
spot.
fun.
I like it for sure.
Yeah, it was
You
a
guys
really
think
good
about
spot.
he just called in the small blind. Do you guys like just calling in the small blind?
I mean, yeah, he's so
I shy away from calling in the small blind.
So the problem with this stack depth is that if he 3-bets off 50 big blinds, like I can perceivably 4-bet, like, you know, 4-bet jam. I don't know. I feel, yeah, I was the blind. I don't know.
Are you gonna do that versus someone that just
Yeah.
Man.
Actually, you know what? I have some 40 big blind charts. I'm curious what those look like from the small blind versus a button.
Yeah, I don't think his small blind flat, if he's deep enough, it's probably not terrible if the big blind's not like 3-betting a lot.
Yeah, so check this out. So these are like implementable GTO charts. 40 big blinds, small blind versus button has some all-ins. That's kind of crazy. But anyway, it's 3-betting a lot of broadways, weaker 9x, and flatting these suited broadways. Yeah, flatting 7-6 suited, 8-6 suited, some of these small pairs. Some crazy all-ins for balance, I guess, but probably no one's doing that.
Yeah, I've seen fucking Nick Petrangelo has some crazy charts for random
Those are the ones
jams.
that I had. I have that, of course.
Yeah, I try not to. Dude, his stuff's so high level, it's not going to work on these guys.
Exactly, I've seen those
I
Petrangelo charts.
I'm not using it. Like I don't directly use it. I just look at it
Yeah.
for baseline.
That's why I think it's kind of deceiving when they put out courses like that, because it's literally like like 90% of the people who buy it are never going to be able to apply that to the games they're playing.
And not to mention, none of these guys are putting out charts that they don't know are plus EV because they're going to get backlash if it doesn't work by 50 players that try to use it. So they put out the most basic charts, like all of them. They put out the most basic charts, and I don't think like we should be using any chart really as like a basic rule in my opinion.
No, I mean, I think
It's like a foundation of a building, you know? It's your base that you work off of and then make adjustments. Have you guys studied any of Ryan LeBlanc stuff?
Was that Fitz that brought that up, Chris? About how no one wants to fucking really put out good charts because of the backlash they're going to receive when Fitz try to apply them?
I've never heard that. I mean, as far as the topic of charts in general,
These charts are over-based charts, so
I mean, the whole thing with charts is just, you know, kind of taking what they are and just trying to understand why the charts are saying what they do. You know, why it's good to 3-bet these type of hands yeah, they're definitely. It's nice to have them as a guideline, but
And honestly, what it all comes down to is like the table that you're at. Like
Yeah,
you are
that too.
constantly adjusting your ranges based on what the other players are doing. So it's like there's good
Yeah, the charge is like preschool.
and just know like what hand
Yeah,
to free bet, and then decide which one you want to use. But
Yeah. Someone mentioned something about Brian LaPlante?
I just have been on his coaching site studying it. I was just wondering if anybody else has looked at his stuff at all.
I haven't. How do you like it? I know it's kind of new.
I mean, it's $25 a month. The value's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's insane, dude. The value for that is just. Any of you guys that are interested in it.
Talking about
I'm looking at it right now.
Ryan LaPlante.
Yeah, I like it.
Potential.
That's his name, but it's learnpropoker.com.
Okay.
All right,
So,
so
like now, for the $25 thing, you get locked in for that for life.
that's pretty cool. All right, so 50 bigs. We open. We take it. Okay, that wasn't interesting. Here we go. Open. Take it. Okay then. Cool. So, stealing some blinds.
They're only calling you when you don't have the top of your range.
Yeah. All right, so big blind, ace-3 off versus a min raise by a 30? No, like a 30 big blind stack. Call. I don't love it.
I think you have to call there every time.
Yeah. So this is weird. So he clicks. Okay, he clicks the half pot button. This is probably a hand I'm like supposed to call, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I fold. I don't know.
I think you're
It's kind of slow because you're ahead of his range, but what are you doing on turns? Like,
Exactly. It's like you're calling to pretty much fold to all double barrels, and
yeah, exactly.
Also, another player pool tendency that I feel like I've noticed is a lot of people just like clicking the half pot bet for value because they don't really know what to do. I just pulled up the hand. He did have an 8.
I think you have to call defending your big blind with an ace, but you really just can't. You can't call the flop because you just have no equity.
Yeah.
You can. You're ahead of a decent part of his range here, but what are you really doing on any turn that's not an ace?
Exactly, and I mean
even
this
on
is
an ace in some cases, if they're double and triple barreling, you can get put in gross spots. Those
yeah. I mean there are a lot of other hands we can defend with here. 5, 6, 9, 8, any diamonds, backdoor clubs.
Yeah.
I'm raising on this board because that it should be a better board for you.
It should. That's why the half pot bet makes no sense. That's why I thought it was just so value heavy. It's like, why are you betting half pot into the board that's obviously better for my range?
Are you raising your 5-6s and stuff though?
What size are you going with there if you have jacks?
He should probably bet small, I would think. That was like a 30 big blind thing.
You'll probably bet somewhere around 40% pot with that draw heavy board.
I
check this out. I have
way too much on those types of boards. The paired boards.
If it comes like 7 deuce deuce, I can get behind like a quarter pot or a third pot. But I think on that flop, I'd probably tend to go 40%ish, somewhere in there.
Actually, I have a similar solution for this.
This is actually another really good example of where I love to.
Who's ever talking? Can you turn up your mic?
Huh?
Or just
You
speak
get
up.
close to your mic or turn it up. I can barely hear you.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
That's much better.
Alright, so this is a really good spot as the pre-flop raiser that I love to use 1/4 sizing on the flop, because just like you guys said, so many people, you can't fold to a 4th pot bet. You get so many floats with air that are going to fold so many turns and rivers, and that's where you get to quarter pot the flop with basically your entire range that has any type of equity, and then overbet your turns, and you're effectively using the same amount of chips as if you were to half pot and then 3/4 pot or 2/3 pot, half pot, a couple different ways, but you're effectively using the same chips. You're getting floats from hands that are never calling turns or rivers or playing for stacks. That's where I love to work.
I like the small bet on flop a lot, but yeah, I don't use much overbetting, so
I'm not overbetting. I'm just going like 40% pot. I think when you go too small, you get floats from like king, queen, and stuff.
That's a great thing, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Not at that price. You're actually giving them a good price to draw.
Right. So then they have to specifically hit kings or queens, and
No, I know. The majority of the time, yeah. But I'm just saying you're giving them decent equity to call with 2 overs. You're giving them the right price, so they're actually drawing correctly.
right. I get you. You just get floats from air, and then
I mean, that's true, you do. You're probably going to get called by like ace-3, ace-4, all kinds of shit.
You also get raised a bunch on that flop. I mean, it's I'm running a solve for it now. That I already had ranges set up. So we'll go back to that. I do think it's interesting what someone should be betting there on that type of board, like paired, middle, and a flush draw. That's kind of wet, actually, you know? I don't know. Alright, so... Okay, nothing to see there. We just fold a6 off from a small blind to an open. 10's a good hand. Alright, so what's going on here? Alright, we have 50 bigs, undergun opens, we flat, I'm assuming, flat, all in, probably, he's only shoving for like 20 bigs.
Shoving 19 bigs.
Yeah,
I think.
No, like 20. No, he's shoving 20.
Like, what do you do here? Do you flat?
No, I shove.
Yeah,
Reshove.
reshove.
Reshove always.
Oh yeah, shove for sure. You can't put in, you don't want to put in a 30 or stack.
I mean, if this
Yeah,
guy's
also-
double trapping with aces, kings, whatever, good for him, but...
So he's never going to have a super strong hand.
Exactly, that's why I just shove.
I shove.
Oh shit, oh god. Okay, he called.
That's where flat.
Right as I
that's where
just said,
having
he's
some
never going to
strong
have...
flats on your
Yeah,
butt-
he can't have a strong hand. He's probably got like 8s.
He got 9s.
Fine, do it.
So we hold 3 ways, which is huge.
God, what a fucking terrible.
Actually, no, we
call.
don't. We don't hold. Yeah, no. So we lose him, but we get all his chips because he's terrible.
Yeah.
That is just an awful call. Jesus.
It is crazy. Like
9's called if you hold, but over calling the jam is
No,
just so
that's-
bad.
yeah, that's pretty bad.
I guess he thinks that you have enough like deuces through like 8s there.
He's not thinking. He just
he's not
paired
thinking.
nines.
He just I have 2 9s. I call.
Yeah.
That's what he's thinking.
Exactly.
That's
These guys
that's
aren't
not.
ranging anything. They're just looking at their hand.
He's like, I have a pair.
Like I'm still kind of thinking the idea that it's $160 tournament.
Like that's what I'm saying, dude. It's crazy
No,
that
mine
like
is-
the level of skill even on this kind of high stakes tournament online. You know, like it's there shouldn't we would think there aren't that many recreationals playing like $160 buy-in, but there are. And live, there are recreationals playing thousands, $3,000, $5,000 tournaments. It's
Well, I wish I was rolled to play these bigger ones, man. The people are terrible.
Dude,
Yeah.
fuck a roll. I'm about to take shots.
don't do that.
Man, what the fuck?
Don't do that unless you have a job. So then you can
on
do that.
ignition or ACR.
This is ignition.
Which ignition is some of the softest shit ever.
It's I mean honestly, every time I play ignition and bet online, I feel like are borderline softer than global. It may be in different ways.
It's softer than global because some of these people that are just spewing are actually making good plays based on the effective stats. That's why
Yeah.
it makes it a smaller edge. But when you're deep stacked and you're punting off 35, whatever the hell you just punted off with 9s, you know, cold calling a jam, like what?
Yeah, that was really
You know
bad.
what I mean? So the errors are the same. They're just larger when you're deeper.
Yeah,
It's larger mistakes, and they happen way more often.
and that's also I mean why it's good. It's okay to just let go of marginal spots. Like some of the spots I had like full, it's just because you expect people to make big mistakes later on.
You're gonna find so much better
Clean
spot.
up on that little edge.
I mean, you're literally playing against a bunch of monkeys in this
It,
tournament.
yeah, I know it's crazy. Like it's
Have we seen a good play from anyone except yourself? I swear.
man, I don't. Maybe one. I don't know.
Fold on the flop was pretty decent, even though he flatted the jacks
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
on the 10 high board. I give him that. I wouldn't have folded, but I also wouldn't have flatted.
All right, so here's one. So we pick up 10s next hand, very next hand. We open, go 3 ways. I mean, probably I don't know. Probably don't want to bet here. We check.
Nah,
Bet, call, we're done with it.
now it's old, yeah.
What they got? What they have, that hand? Let's see, anything ridiculous or reasonable?
Ace Jack maybe, or is it just going to be a complete error?
Oh my fucking god.
What is it?
Oh my god!
How did that many shitty hands even get dealt at one time?
I mean, okay, well, this makes sense. This makes sense, guys. He's betting an open-ender and he calls. They just happen to fold out the best hand. This makes sense. You know? Like, this is supposed to be a draw versus a made hand and you fold 10. So this isn't... It's just ridiculous that I folded the best hand.
Story short, just fucking raised for value into donk leads on Iggy.
Well, they didn't donk lead. This was, it checked to the imposition player because I opened and checked and he bet.
He held in such a terrible spot too.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually
That's
reasonable.
just super unfortunate they both at 6-7.
It's stupid that 6-7 off flat called. I mean,
And like you blocked 10 jack.
exactly. I blocked the main
There's
draw.
not really anything you can do here, man.
Yeah, I mean that seems fine. Just funny that they both have the one draw that I beat and don't block.
Like only Postle's gonna get it in on the river.
Possible gapping that turn with the 10.
I remember this hand. Okay. All right. We have
Absolute monkeys on this website.
no. It is really crazy. It's the punts. I've never seen bigger punts anywhere than I've seen on Ignition.
Yeah, I feel like you're playing a $3.30 by it.
Right.
Serious.
And this is what happens live too. People make these bad mistakes live when the buy-in's 10 times the size. It's crazy. Like it really is crazy how soft tournament poker can be.
Yeah, it really is.
All right, so we open ace-10 off from early middle position. We get flatted by the big blind, who starts the hand with under 30 bigs, under 40 bigs. So do we? This is something I want to run in a solver. Is this a bet hand or a check hand?
I personally go for a check.
I get in a lot of trouble in these spots. I feel like I lose these hands a lot because I end up checking the flop, call bet on
This is where I
turn.
love the bet small, like literally down betting from your raise 3 flops.
Yeah, I mean it's if
I'm
I'm
also down
betting here,
I would lean towards probably betting a hand like ace queen or ace king, just because we don't block any of the draws.
We have more
You end
showdown.
going small, like is
I
that
think that's the opposite thinking. I think you wanna.
Yeah, we have more showdown with ace king. Ace 10 we need to bet more, I think. than
Yeah,
ace king, right?
I think what I think Crypto was saying. I think that's the opposite way to think about it as far as blocking the draws. I think we want to bet because we block the draws and because we block their continuing range in turn. Where ace king, ace queen, we don't block any of their continuing range, and we want to try to get the showdown. I think. And this is something I want to run in a solver.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
I mean, ace 10 has just pretty much showdown value with king or ace queen because
That's what I'm saying. How does ace 10 and ace king and ace queen? Yeah, you have the same exact showdown value with any ace high here, pretty much.
no.
you're never gonna have a better ace high.
Isn't
I
that,
don't know.
I mean, he might have ace jack once in a blue moon.
Well, I'm saying like the bet. At least why I do end up betting here. Why I
We
bet.
got a much better turns possibly for ace 10 than we do ace king, ace queen.
That's true. Though I mean, I'm not sure if this is a flop where we're supposed to be betting almost everything or not. And if we,
Neither am I. Yeah, and that's why these spots
Board doesn't really, the board kind of hits both your ranges somewhat equally. You both can have all the sets.
yeah,
You both probably can have 8-9, obviously.
Yeah, but you can have like the jack 10 offsuit, the 7-6 offsuit, like all of those types of the 8-7 offsuit, all of those types of hands defending the big blind. So I don't.
so I'll tell you. So I end up betting this, and I bet like a little less than a third pot, probably closer to 25%. My thinking here is I'm betting because I block some of his continuing range with 10 jack, and I probably shouldn't get raised off the hand too much, again, because I block hands that would raise me, because I'm going to be blocking 10, I block 10 jack, I block 10-7, and it's a very dry flop, like ish. There's no flush draw out there, only straight draws. So I'm betting here because I feel like I block his raising range and I can backdoor into something. But I'm not sure if that's the correct thinking or not. I do want to run a solve.
Anything you're saying, honestly. So I don't know. I don't really mind a bet. I don't really mind a check either.
Yeah. So as played, he raises me pretty large.
If you think the player can put you in tough spots here, then I think it's definitely a check.
Right.
If you think he's pretty passive and straightforward, maybe betting's better.
So based on his complete HUD stats, he has 69 hands in him, and he's running like 19-9. So on the nittier side for sure. So probably bet then if he's on the nittier side, right?
I really if he's on the nittier side.
If he seems that way anyway, but he raises me.
But you're just gonna get so many folds from hands you don't really mind folding, like the king queens, the jack 10, or not the jack 10, the jack king.
Yeah.
We're ahead of those, but we don't necessarily really want to call.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I noticed.
What was that? Someone was talking.
Wait, well, yeah. Crypto was talking. Go for it.
Oh, no, I'm done, man. I'm just saying, I think in general, if he's tighter, we bet. If he's looser and can put us in bad situations, we might want to look to check.
Yeah, it depends on the player, and I don't know. We probably don't have enough info, but anyway. So I bet like a quarter pot. He raises pretty large. I bet about 1,000. He makes it about 3x, and I don't think we can continue here, especially since we block some of the draws.
Oh no, you can't continue.
Yeah, there's not really any good turn cards.
Funny,
I feel like small bets induce raises from like 8s or 9s.
See, that's a great point.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that myself. Sometimes I wonder if when I make these smaller bets like this, if I'm inducing a raise from just somebody who thinks I look super weak and doesn't understand balancing at all.
And that's exactly how I feel like. I feel like that happens so much more where people are just even like as weak as like a 4. People are just raising.
I try and get into the brain of a guy who doesn't understand balance at all, and he might just sit here and think, "Oh, this guy never has anything. Why would he bet this small with jacks or this or that?" But then you get like into leveling yourself. You really have to know how someone thinks of the bet size.
Yeah, I have a suspicion that this is supposed to be a check, just because if unless the solver says we're supposed to be betting everything, then sure. But if it says we're not supposed to be betting everything, then we're probably supposed to be betting hands like Jack 10, Queen Jack.
Did you run it in the solver?
Not yet. It actually just finished running that other spot, the 877 board with the flush draw. So we can take a look at that real quick.
Spot 2, what it thinks is best.
Me too. And I don't know. I understand both sides to betting and checking, but I just feel like there's a lot of good turn cards that your hand has. So I'm almost inclined to check.
Yeah, I'm gonna run this one next.
What's that just talking just now?
Harry?
Harry? Wait, is Harry in here? Harry, is that you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't know you joined us. Nice.
Harry, what's your screen name?
I got like an invite. I play on Ignition ACR and Global. I don't really play any tournaments on Global anymore, but I play Cash Money on there, but my screen name for that is Harry HH10, I believe.
Yep.
Okay.
So
we've played at the cash tables, 20 and 50 and 0.
Yep, yeah.
What is this? What is the spot that the solver's got?
So this is the 877 with a flush draw board. Middle position versus big blind, 30 big blinds effective. So it doesn't want to bet small with like 60% of the range, and I mean it's just betting all the 7s, a lot of 8s, and then a mix of other stuff. But so
once you got 20% or 20% of the time you're betting small.
No, it's 60% of the time it's betting small, checking back the rest.
Okay.
So I mean his half pot bet definitely deviates, obviously, but yeah, I mean if he bets small, we're probably supposed to. It's just folding the bad ace X's. It's calling the ones with the backdoor diamonds. So yeah, but I mean as far as his perspective, he should be betting, quote unquote, should be betting small with a lot of 7s, a lot of 8s, probably a lot of backdoors, all his diamond draws. Yeah, I mean, standard stuff. Check back. He's supposed to check back a lot of the
Once
broadways.
once he bets, it never wants you to call. I'm assuming.
Once, not my hand. I had ace 3 off without a diamond. It does want to. It does want to raise the naked ace of diamonds offsuit a good bit.
Okay.
At least the worst ones anyway. It actually wants to. No. The ace 8 offsuit with a diamond. It wants to raise a bunch. Oh, that's with a pair. Yeah, I mean, our hand specifically, yeah, just full. We're only supposed to be calling with pairs, diamond draws, at least some cards that are around the 8 and the 7. So that makes sense. So this spot, this is basically kind of early middle position versus big blind. About 30. So I may have this solved already. This is an 9-8-4 rainbow. I probably have something like this. There's 9-8-5 rainbow. There, same thing. Alright. Big blind's supposed to be checking about 100% of the range. Solver wants us to bet. See, this is what I was thinking. The solver wants to bet large half the time. And it wants to bet. It wants to check back ace 10. It wants to bet large with its 9x holdings, a bunch of pairs, over pairs, check back aces. So this was a mistake. This is what I was thinking.
Crypto thing. How didn't you say you'd like a larger sizing?
Yeah, so it wants to bet like 75% pot here, because this is a board where we should be doing a lot of checking and not that much betting. And ace 10 offsuit, ace jack, ace queen, these are all checks. It check at a very high frequency. Well, ace 10 offsuit, it likes betting more. Yeah, I mean, maybe not a mistake. Probably should have bet bigger, though. That was a mistake. Like, so it doesn't mind betting ace 10 offsuit. It actually wants to do it about 50% of the time, but it should be for a larger sizing, because this is not a board where we bet 100% of our range.
Oh, betting this flop, are you barreling any jack, 7,
Let's
ace,
see.
and...
So let's say on a jack, let's say a jack of let's just say an offsuit jack.
Yeah, do the draw equity turns
Um,
first. I'd be interested on the 10 terms as well.
so
yeah,
on
10 especially, too, yeah.
on the jacks, it
Seems
goes
like
either way,
you're
which is kind of
betting,
annoying. It doesn't really, there's no real good indicator if it wants to bet on the jack or not. It seems you can like go either way. The equities are about the same, or
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So, based on opponent, randomizing.
Yeah, I mean, ace 10 specifically, every other 10 it wants to keep betting. But ace 10 specifically, it likes checking back sometimes because it has some showdown value. And probably beats other 10x hands.
That makes sense. And you got equity plus showdown value.
Yeah.
Can you plug in 10?
Yeah, I'm going to put in 10. So on 10, probably wants to bet for value.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny. Wants to check back king 10, but bet ace 10. It's weird. I don't know.
I love looking at
So you
this.
check back king 10, but bet ace 10?
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
You don't have any show as well. You don't have.
No. We're talking about if the turn was a 10.
Oh.
If the turn was a 10, it likes betting now for a small sizing this time. No big sizing. This is 30 big blinds effective after betting big on the flop. It likes betting like every 10 but king 10. I guess because Jack 10 has an over and a straight, Queen 10 has an over and a gut shot, Ace 10 is the best 10, and King 10 is just a 10. I guess that's why it likes to check King 10 and bet the other 10s.
Show one more on this. What's the difference between the jack turn and the 7 turn?
I bet let's see, 7.
7's going to be better.
It probably wants you to barrel a jack over a 7, but that's
I would guess that.
It prefers checking the ace 10 much more often now when it's a 7 turn instead of a jack turn.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep. Okay, so there's that. So basically, if we're betting here, it should probably be for a big sizing because we should not be betting 100% of our range. So that's interesting. Alright. So He gets us. That's fine. King 7. Oh yeah, I didn't show you guys that, right? What he raised us with? Or did I?
I like King 7 raise.
Yeah,
like
I thought it was a decent raise, especially. I mean, this doesn't even need to be like a donk move. Like if he thinks, like if he knows that I should be betting large here, then he could probably be check raising more. So I mean, I like his raise. He got us out the best hand.
I kind of missed the action.
Here, I'll go back.
And I like how he played it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I min raise. He calls from the big blind. I bet small where I should be betting large, and he raises about 3x.
How much did it want you to bet here?
It wanted me to bet about 75%. It favored a 75% pot bet over a 30% pot bet, and I bet even smaller than that.
I'm almost certain if you plug that into a solver, it's going to have him raising like those types of hands specifically. So
Yeah, that makes it, especially if I'm
sure.
if I'm deviating.
That's what
That
definitely
was
solid.
his whole card. I thought that was a new hand. That's why I said I missed the
Oh,
action.
okay.
Gotcha.
All right, so blind levels are up. We have 45-ish big blinds, ace queen offsuit in the big blind. I have a feeling I just flat this since it's an early position open, and I don't really want to, since I have 40 bigs, I don't really want to be put in a position where I 3-bet large and get jammed on, and probably should fold ace queen offsuit.
I don't really see a reason to 3-bet here.
Yeah, so I call.
The only reason a 3-bet, I think it would only be deeper, is just because we're out of position and want to take it down there some portion of the time.
Yeah, if you think he's opening wider. One thing that I've definitely...
All 40 big blinds, I think we're fine, just flatting.
Yeah, what I've become a lot more comfortable doing is just flatting with big hands in the big blind versus early position opens, and just being okay with, like, okay, I have a strong range. Yes, I'm going to fold some flops, but I'm also going to be ahead a lot of flops without bloating the pot out of position. I've just been more comfortable with that mindset with these situations. Because for a while, I just always 3-bet.
It's kind of like when you flat kings the trap and once they tie and it goes bet, you're like, well, fuck my life.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Alright, so, bet flop, check, bet. Considering the strength of our hand, I think we need to call. I'm pretty sure I call. Just because he's probably betting at 100% frequency.
Now that's a flop he's going to see bet 100% of the time, or should be. In
Yeah,
theory.
and it's a small bet. He bets 14 into 42, so about third pot, so I hope I call. I call.
He's giving you like 3-1 on the flop.
Yeah, so it goes check, check here. I hit the ace.
Bing.
Yeah, so I don't see any reason to lead. I'm sure he's going to be betting this, especially if he has a worse ace. He bets big. He bets 52 into 7,000. We call and are good because he's sure whatever. Probably should just check back.
And that's interesting. I like your check on the river, but I do think some of the time, it's probably wrong. I'm leading out there.
Yeah, the problem. So leading out is I think I feel comfortable saying theoretically incorrect, just because the ace is so much better for his range than our range.
Right.
You just don't get called very often. He almost never has a king when he checks turn.
Yeah, so it's like
So if you lean the river, you're literally getting called by like ace jack maybe, and that's about it.
yeah, you just don't give him an opportunity to bluff or to just value
Right.
himself.
We check, we get bets from flush draws, 9, 10,
Anything,
Yeah,
anything. Like he showed up with
There's
sixes.
a ton of hands. He should be bluffing river.
I totally agree. I was just
don't get
pointing out
owned by
something that this is weak.
Sure.
All right, so
If he's a spaz, you could maybe lead river pretty small.
like really
if you
small,
didn't call.
right? Yeah, sure. like your block betting.
Get him to spew off.
Yeah, if you think someone will do that, I like that. So
I've been experimenting a little bit with real small bets on the river
mhm.
in certain spots to get people to just spew.
Yeah, I like doing that at a
Yeah,
position.
Hard balancing act because sometimes you just miss value and they flat.
Mhm.
And the key is to doing that is like you have to do it with a lot. Like you have to be relatively balanced in that sense of doing it with like your weaker showdown type hand and your nutted hand as well.
Yeah, I like merging ranges there. Sometimes if I'm gonna block bet and value bet, it definitely player dependent too, and just everything. I mean everything dependent. I'm gonna move on. Just very next hand, ace queen suited, under the gun open. Probably just flatting this again. Oh boy. Probably got a full. I hate it. Okay, so the stack sizes, I have a lot. I have like over 60, about 60 bigs. Under gun open, we call. So the big blind has like 15 bigs, and he shoves, and the under the gun player who covers me just calls. No, he clicks it up. He clicks it up. I'm just
this is
full.
gross, but I think you have to fold.
Yeah, I think I'm full.
I think if he shoves, his range is probably weaker, but when he just min clicks it back like that,
yeah,
He's never gonna think that you have like as strong of a
Yeah,
hand.
you're under repped here a lot.
that's also the problem. He doesn't think you have a hand that's strong, but I don't think he's going to do that with 9s or 10s. I think he's going to jam 9s or 10s. So what does that really leave?
yeah. I mean, it's either or. I mean,
Min clicking it is effectively jamming. Like
yeah, because he's not folding. Yeah, it could be like a leveling thing too. I mean, he's not folding ace king. He's not folding any of his range here. You know.
Here's the thing, he's going to be doing that with anything that's going to call 13th out. Like, he's going to be doing, like, he's never going to call 13 and then fold to you if you jam. So, min clicking doesn't even really make a difference, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's why, as much as it sucks here, but with the big blind being as short as he is, I think we have to fucking 3-bet. It sucks because the under the gun is what he, you know.
Well, here's the thing. When you,
what it is.
I mean, that's probably a whole separate.
Just gets to shove so much here when flat.
Not really. I mean, think about it. The big blind shouldn't be shoving light because under the gun player, under the gun range should be pretty tight to begin with, and now it should be extra tight because he's opening into a short stack. My range in the small blind should also be pretty strong considering I'm flatting under the gun open and because there's the shove stack. So this guy, like, what do we think he should be shoving? I think he should be shoving like 9s plus ace queen, maybe ace jack suited.
That's what you think he should be shoving?
Exactly. That's what I think he should be shoving. The big blind.
No, I think I think a lot of players, like player tendencies, are shoving any pair. Like,
yeah, you'd
sure.
be surprised, like, what, like, Tonka and them are shoving these spots.
I don't know. This exact spot calls for a very tight shoving range with a big blind.
And I mean, ace queen is the best hand. That's not a pair that you have here.
Yeah, but also my range should still be very strong. You know, it should.
What I would do is 3-bet and then call off obviously the small guy's jam. But as played, I think you might just have to fold it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I fold, and I don't.
Yeah, as played, it's a fold.
Huh.
Even if we
Funny.
Wow.
What is exactly that? I mean, we lose.
Even though you would have lost.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, I just think we're up against two very strong ranges all the time, and ace queen doesn't really do well against two strong ranges.
I agree. Yeah, I think as played, it has to be a fold.
No, I agree for sure.
Yeah, I would call that. Probably 3-bet call off his jam.
Yeah. I open fold deuces here from the cutoff because this big blind is short and it's deuces. I'm probably folding anyways.
Do you guys ever call there?
Like just limp, you mean?
Opening?
This is one of those things where I was saying, like, I've taken this out of my game a good bit, just folding these worst 2s and 3s a lot. Especially
And
shorter
you got,
stack
like,
now.
2 stacks that are like 15 bigs to your left.
Yeah, so we're just...
I heard you guys talking about this earlier in the video, and a thing that I think about, like, the small pairs is they're just so hard to play. You're going to lose the pot so much because you're going to just find yourself checking because you're some showdown value and then folding.
They're hard to win with. They're pretty easy to play, though.
Yeah, I don't have my actual stats, but I'm pretty confident that my win rate has gone up because I've stopped opening deuces and 3s so much.
I'll say these guys had like 20 bigs. Are you opening?
No, I'm folding. If anything, I think I would... My only move here would be to shove if all their stacks were like...
At what stack depth are you starting to open this based on the guys to your left? 30 bigs or more?
Probably... Maybe 30 bigs, maybe even bigger, 50 bigs or more.
Well, I mean, most of the charts these days are pretty much all folding deuces and 3s at least until you're at the button. Like,
yeah. I'll tell you, if these guys all have 15 bigs, I'll probably shove on them. Maybe.
Everyone's 3-bet call frequencies has gone up. Like, people are just playing more hands and getting short, or it makes you play hard with fucking small pairs.
I mean, that's a good point. My charts are Ryan LaPlante, and he has you opening pretty fucking loose since he's just a loose. He deviates from GTO quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's opening like King 6 suited under the gun and shit.
Yeah,
Actually, that's not terrible. I mean, if you look at...
I like it. I actually balance my under range more than
check out this...
position because of how tight people play against under the gun ranges.
Right, you get so much more.
Yeah.
14 big blinds, you could min raise 6-7 and just scoop.
Well, I don't think you should do that. That sounds bad. But, like, this is... So these are the charts I have, like...
A little bit.
40 big blinds opening, I mean, King 8 suited. 25 big blinds, though, opening King 7 suited, just because, the value of a big card goes up when your stack gets shorter.
Yeah, he talks about a lot of value people miss folding a lot of suited kings.
Yeah, and that,
I do, for sure.
Yeah, so do I. It's an adjustment I started making based on his training.
Yeah, same. That's I've definitely started opening up my range there some. We just fold. I might open this if it folded to me. I don't know. There's 2 short stacks now. It's actually getting short here. So
Yeah, I think you can fold the queen 10. Oh, wait, what was the king jack?
it was an open, under the gun open 3-bet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're just folding there. And probably just going to be looking for spots at this point. People are getting shorts, not defending that. King 9 offsuit, I already know we're not. There's an open and a shove. Probably going to be looking for hands for a bit here. Queens, that's a hand. Alright, we min raise and all in, we call, we win, that's good.
Who do we have in here so far? We got me, Crypto.
Very
Got Stay Focused.
AFA, and Fear Modus.
Oh, okay.
Alright, blind versus blind. This guy has 16 or 17 bigs, we limp, he checks. I think he folds, sad face. Nothing to see there. It's funny to see short stacks finally. It hasn't happened a
Do you know how
lot.
many players are left at this point?
I don't think we're in the money yet, by any means. Okay, so we got an open from a 38 big blind stack, call from a 20 big blind stack, call from a 30 big blind stack, and we have jacks here.
How big are you making it?
I make jam.
Yeah, that's what I was...
Right here?
Yeah, jam or just make it huge. I mean, maybe make it like 10,000.
Yeah, like effectively all.
Yeah, just because it just levels people. It's like, holy shit, it's not even a jam, it's a big raise.
You make it like 4K.
No, that's
2 callers, and then it's just so hard to play out.
yeah. I think the smallest regular 3-bet I would make here is like 8,000 probably would be the
So
smallest.
wait, were we 250, 500 to start blinds?
Oh no, you're right. Never mind. Hold on. No. The blinds are yeah. It's a limp pot. The blinds are 50, 1,000.
Oh, I thought he opened and you were talking about getting it in against him.
No. Yeah, it's a limp pot. So
Okay.
I think I jam.
So
No, I make it.
37,
I make it 73. So I guess sure. Everyone just folds. I guess that's enough.
Basically incentivize the 20 big blind stacks to either show. Like
That's true. Yeah. So I guess that must be what I was thinking. Where this guy really can't flat that much. He probably needs to jam.
Right, and that's
then-
the only stack you're kind of working about.
I like that. I like your play.
I think I should make it bigger.
Sizing,
I think it's a little bit too small. I think I would have rather seen like 8,500 though.
No, well,
I'm not even sure if that's pot. I mean, it's probably close to pot, but
I think a jam might be better because you look weaker.
it's such a big jam over. Like if I don't know. The problem is if he's ever trapping, it's pretty terrible too. I don't know.
These guys aren't trapping.
Yeah, you're right. They're like, I mean, I don't hate a jam. That's why I said it at first. I mean, 38 big.
I don't know if a jam's better because it just looks weaker.
But it also looks like jacks and tens.
Yeah, that's
Someone
true.
could just spike call you with king queen.
No, what do you guys think's better in general? Just go with something around like 8 or 10, or
Well, okay. Here's the thing. If I make it
7,000, 8,000. I really do. I just think
I agree. I think
Guy
you're.
with 48,000 to put in 8K with his Ace 4 suit, I mean, as long
Whatever
as
shit he's got.
Yeah, I guess okay. So when I make it this size, I guess one of two things can happen. I make it this size, and either this guy folds, and then one of these guys jam, and we call it off, or maybe they call, and we can probably get in a flop, or
I think,
this guy calls. Yeah.
Do you think they ever limp there and then flat like a hand like 8s or 9s, whereas they would fold those to a shove?
Maybe. That's
So
why.
maybe-
That's why I feel like I almost wish I made it bigger here.
Yeah, so maybe just, well, I think your size is fine. I think it's either something around your size or jam. But now I'm leaning maybe towards your size because these guys are so bad that they might just call here with 8s or 9s, whereas they would fold those hands to a shove.
Yeah.
And I can see these players limping
I
8s or
would think
9s.
they get this size, you let them make mistakes.
Right,
Yeah,
like
that-
they
yeah.
their 10.
And that's probably why I did. I think.
They're not going to make huge mistakes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But if you make it like 7K, yes, they're going to call you with their 8s, 9s, or their small pairs, or their ace-x suited, and those types of hands that you want action from. So
That's true. Yeah. So maybe the
I
size.
think if it was good players, although you're never going to see these limps from good players, would probably be better.
yeah,
If-
because then you're playing out position against stronger opponents, but yeah, against people that
Plus they can range you.
So where are these stronger opponents?
Missed it. What did you say?
I think online MCT.
He said, "So where are these stronger opponents?"
And like, I'm pretty bad. Like, okay.
Alright, anyway, so we're dealing with a lot of 20 big blind stack now. I'm sure we just flat at this point.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I want to play the hand. I don't want to 3-bet it, because this guy's opening on the gun and has 25 bigs. Anyways.
This is an annoying spot to flat, though, because I feel like so often with a raise and 2 flats, like, you would think decent players are going to choose that spot as a good jam spot, especially with, like, shorter stacks.
Well, they need to be careful, because they're dealing with very strong ranges. And under the gun open and then a flat, these two ranges should be pretty strong. You really don't want to just jam any middling ace or any small pair into these guys. So, I mean, sure, maybe someone's a complete idiot, but most complete idiots just flat, you know? And people who jam a lot, I mean, sometimes they're idiots, but sometimes they realize they shouldn't be jamming into strong ranges. I don't know.
There's a level war, isn't it?
Yeah, so we flat, get a bad flop. That's not bad. Okay, now he bets, and probably call now. So this is the pre-flop aggressor checks this flop. It checks around. Now he bets like half pot. Exactly. He clicks the half pot button. About probably have to call once. I fold.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, well, okay. So maybe I'm folding because he's betting into 3 people.
Yeah, I don't hate either one of them.
Either. I mean, from what we've seen from these guys, it's kind of annoying, but
Right, like, from what we've seen, you're incentivized to then want to call, but I think normally a lot of people are checking their weaker ace-x suiteds, their kings, their queens, their jacks, and they may even still check those hands on the turn, but,
And you can't discount that some people are going to be checking aces, 7s.
Yeah, that's true. He could be checking a weak ace here, like he should be.
yeah, I mean, he could be checking, like, ace-3 suited, ace-9 suited, I don't know what he's opening under the gun, but these guys are opening pretty dang wide, so, those types of hands, 4 ways, he should be checking them at a decently high frequency. Like,
Let's see if I have this. Do we see what he has here? I can't find the hand. He has ace-jack. So, oh wow, he just flopped the world. That makes sense.
Oh.
Alright, so I'm
See,
just...
there it is, the world.
Soul read that guy, alright.
well,
So something?
Good fold.
So, okay, we open ace-king. We have a pretty good stack. We have 64 big blinds here. And, alright.
you min raising.
I think I was second in chips for a while in this tournament. What was that about min-raising?
Are you min raising all the time at the stacked up? No.
Pretty much, yeah. I think if I'm on Bet Online, I'll make it 2.2 because I have the button. But actually, not even. If there's 20 big blind stacks, I'm min raising. If there's a mix between 20 and 25 big blind stacks, I'm min raising. If it's all 25 to 35 big blind stacks, I'll make it like 2.2 about.
Yeah.
I pretty much min open after 300, 600 level. I mean, it's all, like you said, depends upon the general stack sizes, but.
I will notice. So there's I've played with I played with Joe McKean a couple times live now, and I've noticed he just always straight up min raises. No, like a little bit extra, just always straight up min raises, even at bigger stack defs. And I've noticed this by a couple other good players too, and I just think it's interesting, and it's like something that I feel like I don't agree with, but there's obviously needs to be some merit to it, and a reason why they're
They're so confident with their post-flop play that.
I think that's what it is. I think they're trying to make sure that they increase their edge as much as possible.
Ryan LaPlante, what he does is he suggests if you have a bunch of fishy players behind that you go for the min open, and then if you have decent players behind, you go for closer to 2.5.
Yeah,
because you want to disincentivize the good players to call.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That does make sense. Yeah, that especially that makes sense when you compare streamed tournaments with all good players to what they're doing live versus bad players.
Well,
so
when you're mid-opening, you're just giving yourself better pot odds throughout the whole pot.
Yeah.
And against bad players, so it's just a
You
win.
get to play multi-streaks and just control the size of the pot.
Exactly. So yeah, that's his strategy. He kind of goes an exact 2x versus when he's got bad players behind, and with good players behind, he'll go 2.5.
That makes sense.
A little something to think about.
So okay, that was boring. Raise and take it. Let's find another hand. Oh wait, I was in a big blind here. I'm not sure if I defend this. Oh, it's a limp. Alright, thanks for the free flop. Alright, we're done with it. That was fun. Actually, hold on. I just want to see, what did he have? 6-8. Alright. Yeah. Okay, so force me the small blind. This guy has 10 bigs. Do I jam? I jam. He calls and I get. Do I get there? No. No, he wins. Okay, that sucks. Alright, I mean, that's probably a standard, just 10 big blind jam.
Yeah.
Or the 12 big blinds.
Why are you shoving there, though? What's like...
How, what?
So what's the worst hand you're shoving, and then are you limping?
I don't know. But probably not with 10 bigs. I'm probably just shoving mostly when he has 12. Well, he has like 12, 13 big blinds there. I don't know. I like shoving a lot. Some, if he has 15 bigs, I may start limping or raising some. I'll like kind of in these spots. I'm trying to look at charts a lot.
Scenario I busted a 6 max last night, 400. I shoved king 6 in the 8s. Exact spot.
All right, so dealing with some 20-ish big blind stacks round, and they're gonna open. We flat jacks. This guy shoves. No, this guy doesn't even shove. This guy 3 bets.
Weird spot.
I'm folding. I'm fine folding that. I'm just snap folding here.
That's why I don't like those flats on the button sometimes with them middling pairs.
But I mean, you gotta realize that this is a strong range, and then when he 3 bets, that's just a super strong range. He just jacks, let it go, and then what do you
What's he 3-betting off the 20 some odd bigs?
Oh, 8? Oh, look at this.
I'm talking about our action versus an under the gun open.
Yeah, I mean,
we got full table, 8-handed.
I mean, I'm still flatting there a bunch. I mean, it's definitely up for interpretation and strategy, but I do think a lot of good players are flatting versus under the gun open, just because their range is very strong.
I agree. I'm just kind of bringing it up because I probably need to do that type of thing more.
Yeah, you just gotta play intelligently and realize that sometimes you fold your good pre-flop hand and it's fine.
Or what, UTG starts hand with 25 bigs?
Little more than that. Yeah, like 25-ish, a little more than that. So
I might look to 3-bet, get it in versus certain players.
Yeah. I remember this hand was interesting, so I fold, and so there's 22 in the middle. Under the gun just open rips it, and this guy tanks for fucking ever, and finally calls over kings, which I'm folding kings. I'm just
me too.
I'm just let's What is this guy
I've
doing?
got the kings in pre-flop, honestly.
Well, he 3-bets. He 3-bet. Yeah, so I mean, he wants action. So
Yeah.
he probably. I mean,
I think
he basically owned himself.
I mean,
He should just shove.
he should just shove. Actually, his stack is pretty small. I mean, he
that
has.
looked way stronger.
Yeah, he probably should just
He's
shove.
he's just over 20 bigs. That's a shove every game.
Yeah, and-
Okay, I'm gonna bank my ace against the king.
Yeah,
And
he
ace
probably
eight, I don't
should've
even want to begin how bad a call that is. Like,
Oh yeah, even with the guy's 3-bet, I mean, he's getting a terrible price. Oh yeah, that guy needs to shove.
All right. Under the gun, we open, get called by the cutoff in the big blind. I run this hand. So it checks to us. What was that?
No, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say it checks to us, and I think we have a clear check 3 ways with the middle pair, backdoor flush, backdoor straight.
With the ace of clubs, absolutely, yeah.
I almost never bet middle pair when I flop it.
Yeah. So the cutoff bets exactly half pot. He clicks the half pot button.
Snap call.
Yeah, I fold first. I don't. I don't fold here. Like that's the thing. And I remember this hand because I think he has, like he had it, but this was for me. This was an exploit fold because he clicked half pot. Like I swear, people love clicking half pots. They either love clicking half pot way too much, or they click with their value hands. But I do think in general this is a mistake. In general I do like call.
You need a call.
I would like folding way more if I see bet the flop. But being that we effectively block the nuts and we could just shove club turns in his face and effectively have the nuts, I don't know. I just like flatting there. I don't know. It's probably wrong though.
No, I think
you're supposed to
call. Like the call is the play here for sure. This was a weird spot where I just, for whatever reason, I didn't like it. I didn't feel good about it, and the half pot bet into 2 people just kind of like it for me. It like screamed strength, and I was like, I'm just getting out of here. It's nice to see I was right, but I should be calling.
because obviously your hand is so under reps. But yeah, I mean, I understand if that's like a read that you have of when people just click the half pot button, you're more inclined to think that they have value. Like I think his fold is all right, but
Yeah, I know. This should be a call. Like I just have the equity. Like if I think he's betting his draws, obviously it needs to be a call. But this was a weird hand. This is like an outlier for me. I don't.
You said it was a split fold though, and he flips over clean. Fucking. That's why you're playing 162s and I'm not.
I mean, but still, like in almost every other situation, I call here. Like this is just an easy call because I have a pair and there's plenty of draws. I guess it kind of sucks that I have the ace of clubs and I block his flush draws, but I mean, it should be a call here. This was like I said, this was like for me felt like an exploit fold because I felt like he was just betting value into 2 people, but yeah, should be a call for sure. This is funny. Oh, he opens pretty large. I just fold queen 8 offsuit in the big blind. He has kings. Idiot. Alright.
Idiot.
Yeah. This guy shoves, I flats, blah blah blah. We don't hold, that's fun. So at this point we have a little over 20 bigs. Probably yeah, so I'm probably just opening this. There's another 20 big blind stack in the big blind. That's fun. Flop, good. So there's 10.8 in the middle. Oh, well, okay, we just call. Look at this guy. What the fuck? I don't understand, guys. Why, like, turn the poker.
Runners against you.
It's like, I don't, this is a 162. Like, he just.
that looks like a fuck you. I'm good.
Hey,
This, dude, look, he open jams 3x the pot. This guy literally gifted me 20 big blinds.
Oh my god. You know what's gross? Think about how often that works.
Oh, I know. It's like
Fold so much there.
I mean, it's crazy. It's
yeah, but he's owning himself versus so much shit.
yeah.
I'm not saying it's a good play.
No, I understand where you're coming from. But
Just 3x. It's like jam 3x
It
pot.
makes you wonder what hand you're folding sometimes.
I know.
That is there.
you just threw $162.
I know, yeah. He gifted me 20 bigs. I mean, that was 2 starting.
Dude, I'm gonna be a fucking call station after this session.
It's, I mean, at least on ignition, man.
I'm trying to find root hold, and this ain't help.
It's really. Seriously, on ignition, it didn't take me too long to realize that on ignition, it's really hard to fold because people love bluffing on ignition, especially if you check to them. Like this, that's the biggest player pool tendency on ignition, that they love bluffing when checked to.
It's anonymous.
I think it's the anonymity of the site, man. They get away with murder.
For sure.
Although to call them on it, you know.
So here, like 25 big blind stack calls me from the button. I'm just gonna bet big here. There's 9.9 in the middle. I would like to see like a 7K, 7.2K bet. I bet 6.5. I think I could go bigger just because this should.
I like your size. I might have gone closer to 7.
Yeah, I think
this
you
your
should.
board's so draw heavy and stuff. Like, yeah, I think you need to bet really large.
Yeah.
It's much better for your range. Like, yeah.
He has a jammer fold spot with all his draws,
Mm-hmm.
and that's great for us.
Well, plus when he calls here, you can put him so much on the brick turns and really get him to
Brick turns was shoving.
Yeah.
Trying to see if this is the hand. No, this is not.
So what, you just need that and you don't?
Yeah, he folded. I'm just trying to see if I can find the hand.
So,
Hey, do you mind going back? I have a spot that I just saw when you're done with this. That spot with the queens in the small blind, and you flat.
No, I didn't flat. I
Shoving there?
with queens. No, someone jammed, and someone jammed like 12 bigs or 10 bigs. I just flat instead of rejam.
Was that a trappy move?
Yeah, I'm not never folding.
Okay, alright,
Yeah.
cool. That's all I need.
This guy folded. Oh wait, no, that's not it. I'm just gonna find this hand. I want to know what this guy folded. Wait, I just tagged this hand. Where is it? Alright, I guess I'll find out later. Doesn't matter too much.
you get 5-6 offsuit.
Probably something like that. Anyway. Nope, hold on. We're in the big blind here, and... Okay, well, open, 3-bet, we fold. Folding, king it off in the small. Probably open this if it folds, folding if it opens to us. Yeah, I've been flatting less in those spots, and seems to be good.
Yeah, it saves a lot of just burn chips with the blinds I could shove.
Are you guys interested in getting together on a somewhat regular basis to do reviews and study like this?
I'm always game.
You can do it. I've done that with some people, JDL and Killerbird. So it's definitely something that I'm into. Here, blind versus blind.
Even though I got
blind.
shit cans from the crushers, I think you guys mowed down.
Alright, so small blind, big blind, small blind limps. I decided to raise 6-5 offsuits. And this is just me following a chart. Just how to react versus small blind limp. This was like one of the hands, so I was like, okay, let's raise it. He calls. I think I'm done with the hand. Yeah, I lose to ace high. I mean, I don't even know if there's merit to betting the turn here, because he's just going to call so much. So that was a fun experiment with raising 6-5 offsuit. I know, so we're at 30 bigs right now. I know we are probably close to the money at this point. Alright, we open pocket 10s. Call. That's a tip. Oh, I remember this hand. Okay. Okay, so what do you guys do here? Better check. We open under the gun. We are 30 big blinds effective.
Bet.
It's better for your range, so yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty clear bet everything spot, considering our range is very strong and we should just be betting small with everything. So there's 13.2 in the middle. We bet 4.2, about third pot. He calls. Turns to king. He checks. What do we do?
I'm probably, well, it's tough. I'm probably shut down because we block a decent amount of the draws he should have on the flop.
I block some. Yeah, I mean some 10x.
Block hearts to an
Hearts,
extent.
I mean.
You block queen 10, king 10.
So, well, queen 10 is nuts now.
Because, like,
I think he's just waited. He's waited at aces and jacks.
So,
yeah,
what were you going to say?
that.
I was saying he's probably just weighted more towards like aces and jacks, and he picks up a king with some of his hands too on the turn. I just don't think you get a lot of fold betting here. Might fold a hand like, I mean, he's not even going to fold jack 10, jack queen, right?
Well, we block those hands. So, I end up betting here. And this isn't something I do usually. I think I did this because I think we were getting close to the money, at least. Or like, yeah, I think we were getting close to the money at this point. So when the king hits, I'm thinking, okay, my hand obviously is not good here, but we block the nuts, and we have all of the nut 2 pairs in our range. We have all the ace jack, ace king, king jack hands.
That's true.
Having a heart is actually probably good here.
I think, okay, so if you do barrel this turn, I think you probably have to barrel the river with a pretty high frequency.
Yeah, I think you can go bet on this board just because it's particularly just so much better for your range than his. And I mean, he's called out of the big blind, right? So he's just gonna have a lot of weak hands, like. But like, I don't think your hand is ever good at this point.
I agree. I think that we're turning the hand to a bluff, and if he calls this, the pot's gonna go to 46, about 47, and I'm gonna have 42 behind. So I was probably looking at this like, fuck, I'm gonna have to bet the river here, but it's like it just seemed like a good spot. You know, it seemed like the turn card was just so much better for my range that I can probably get him to fold a weak ace. Because like, what are you doing here? If you get double barrel and you have ace 8, ace 5, ace 9, like what do you do here when you get double barreled on this board?
Yeah,
it's pretty shitty.
You know how terrible it is to lose to check and give up to and lose to like jack 9 instead of those types of hands.
That too. So yeah, I just gotta go for it. I don't know if this is like on this particular run out, if this is something I should be doing, or maybe this is really bad.
I think actually it's probably better. I mean, he literally has none of the sets except sixes. Almost none of the 2 pairs. I mean, he can have ace 6, I guess, but he's probably going to put in a raise.
Flop.
He just overall smashed the board so much compared to his range. But if you're betting turn, you definitely probably got to fire river.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. I didn't love it, but that's.
This is the type of spot that I rarely take myself, but I love it. Like I think you should do it. I think it's the correct play most of the time.
Yeah, I think the king. I think a king or queen are the turns we can do this on. If it's anything else, I don't think we can. You know, I don't know. Like if it's like a 9 or an 8 or a deuce or a 3, no, I don't think I love the double barrel anymore.
Yeah, it has to be some sort of a scare card.
Yeah, and this seemed like, I mean, the king of hearts are probably even better, but then it's like, fuck, he's gonna have a lot of flushes in his range too. So I did get him to fold an ace, so that was nice.
Oh, nice hand. Yeah, that's a really nice hand.
He had, I didn't see.
Ace 8 offsuit he had.
I think that goes to show that you recognize how much of a stronger range that you have on that board. So
yeah, and that's really all that was. That was just me saying, okay, I have a very strong range here. I can put ace X in a really tough spot on this particular turn. So
wow, I was just getting so angry because I thought you guys were partying with it. I muted it because my dog started barking.
What was your contribution?
Dude, I was sitting here trying to talk and you guys were talking over me and I'm like, you guys are assholes. Like, I'm literally waiting my turn and then
I did the same thing for about a half an hour.
And then I'm like, oh my god, I'm muted. But what I was trying to say was, that's like a perfect spot and I feel like you come across those spots so often where it's like, you're gonna have so many weak ranges on the turn. That again is like a beautiful spot where it's like one on the flop. You know you have a great hand with great removal, and then like what hands can turn to a big bet, call to a big bet on the turn. I like Chris 11's awesome, but I think you got to size up on the turn.
yeah, that was the one thing. When I looked back at the hand, I thought that I probably should have gone a little bit bigger. And honestly, again, I think that was a result of playing just a seemingly big tournament.
Right. Like flop, I like a small flop bet. Because now you're going to get all the value hands, the sets and 2 pairs to raise you, which is fine. Now we have an easy. But when they call you, what are they calling you with on that heart board? They're not calling you with any type of value. No ace jack, no ace six, no pocket sixes, no pocket jacks. And then you just get to collect a free bet on the flop, and then you're just going to take it down all the time on the turn. You know, like by betting large.
Yeah, I think I agree. The turn should have been a little bit bigger. What was that?
I think you're a little too deep for the overbet shove on the turn, but I like the sizing up on the turn specifically.
Yeah, and I like you said, I think it should have been just a little bit bigger on the turn bet. Yeah.
But again, this is a 162, so like, you know, that effectively looks like you're just milking them with the nuts. So.
Yeah. I fold ace-7 suited here. And I think this seems really close for me. This is usually an open, but I think there are like just a lot of short stacks around. So I just decided to fold it. But I could have opened it. That was I thought about that for a while.
I like folding my ace-7, ace-8, ace-9s there.
Yeah, that's opening at like ace deuce through 5 suited.
Small stacks on my left there. Probably
literally
looking.
just say everything I think. What the fuck, Modus?
Alright.
I was just gonna like,
Modus? I'm not Modus.
oh, who are you then? So I know.
Modus hasn't talked.
So here we open king queen off. I bet 6 into 15, a little bit bigger, and he just folds. Yeah, I don't know. I could probably go smaller here. I don't know why I'm going bigger. I think it's because this is like around the bubble, and I'm like probably adjusting in a bad way. But
Yeah, it's hard to not adjust in a bad way on bubbles. Just like, give me the pot now, leave me alone.
yeah, well, I mean, just because this was, we might be in the money at this point. I'm not sure.
Again, this is another, like, I know you blocked some of the draws and stuff, but this is another board where there's just a lot of bad turns and river cards.
Well, there's not that, like, a 10 isn't the worst thing for us. An ace,
That's fine.
you know.
Literally an ace offsuit is the only turn, I think.
Yeah, I think I could have
But
gone
it's still
smaller
better for
here.
our range.
I didn't realize you get the queen of spades as well.
Yeah, I mean, I could have made this 5 instead of 6 into the 15, but yeah. New table. Hold on. Are you guys? So it's getting like late. Are you guys playing tonight? Do you guys want to pick up on another day? So I think there's still a lot. I'm just.
Yeah, I'm gonna get playing here soon. If you, I'd be down to continue it. But if you still want to keep going, I'm down with that too.
You guys want a two-part?
Yeah, I think 2 hours. I want to make sure I get to play tonight too, and I'm not sure how much of this is left. I know we have a lot
Yeah,
left because at some point I get down to 6 big blinds, and it's obviously not now. So.
Oh, wow.
I think we're all planning on playing tonight. Like, I plan to go play live pretty soon, but, yeah, so whenever, like, I'm trying to do 2 parts, or I'm not, yeah, otherwise I'll have to leave relatively soon.
Yeah, alright, so let's plan on a 2-part, and probably not this weekend, but maybe like Monday or Tuesday we'll do part 2 of this.
Yeah, I'm pretty free whenever.
Cool. Alright guys, well thanks for joining
I didn't
in.
anticipate as much in-depth we're going.
Good studying with you guys.
Alright, good luck tonight everyone.
Yeah,
Send a note into that Discord group, whatever you're thinking. I don't know if it was a new one created.
It's just this. I have a Discord server you can join. That's a couple guys talk strategy here and there. I'll send you guys all an invite to that if you want to join.
Hey Chris, thanks for this, man.
No problem. Thanks for saying. It's cool. It's nice talking to people at hands. All right, I'll let you guys know when we do part 2.
All right, man. I'll see you later. Later, guys.
Hey, later.